Welcome, one and all, to Pacific414 Pop Talk. I'm your host, Mike. Tonight, I have a slew of articles to talk about, some related to Disney and Star Wars, some related to Disney regaining property that used to air on Netflix, others, well, they pertain to Star Trek, and a few other articles I've found throughout the week and throughout the day. So let's go ahead and get underway here with this first article. But before we do that, I hope you are all doing well. And I want to say welcome to each and every one of you who watched this during the live stream or watched this after the live stream is over. And if you are watching this during the live stream and you want to come on, let me know and I will either DM you the link or I can put the link in the chat. So let's go ahead and get underway with this first article here from Variety. It was posted on Monday, March 1st. It's by Zach Sharf and it says Daredevil and other Marvel shows to stream on Disney Plus in March after Netflix exit. All right. So the article begins by saying former Netflix Marvel comic book series Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, The Punisher, and The Defenders will officially call Disney Plus their new streaming home. Disney confirms all six series will begin streaming on the platform in the US, Canada, UK, Ireland, Australia, and New Zealand starting March 16th. The shows left their original home at Netflix on February 28th after rights to the series reverted back to Disney. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which ran for 7 seasons on ABC, will also begin streaming March 16th on Disney Plus. While Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and all of Netflix Marvel series were branded as Netflix originals to consumers when they premiered on the streaming platform, the shows were licensed out to the streaming giant from Disney. Netflix licensing deal ended, opening the door for Disney to move them to Disney Plus. Many expected these shows to find new homes in the US on either Disney Plus or Hulu prior to today's announcement. With the addition of these titles, some of which, like Daredevil, are violent and more mature, Disney will simultaneously release an update to its existing parental controls in the US, prompting all subscribers to update their settings. The settings include an option to select content ratings restrictions for each profile to add a PIN number or lock profiles. Those that choose to keep their settings the same will continue to use Disney Plus as they always have within a TV 14 content rating environment, with the option to make changes at any time under the Profile Settings tab. Disney also confirmed that all seven of these Marvel series will be available across all Disney Plus markets later this year. And hello, Godzilla there. Welcome to the show, brother. Good to see you. If you'd like to come on, lines are always open here on Pop Talk for anybody to come on if they wish. The article continues by saying Disney Plus has served as the home for some of the most beloved brands in the industry, and the addition of these live action shows brings more from the Marvel brand together all in one place, said Michelle Paul, president of Disney Streaming, in a statement. We have experienced great success with an expanded content offering on Disney Plus across our global markets and are excited to continue that here in the US as well as offering our consumers not excuse me, not only great content with the new Marvel editions, but also set of features that help ensure a viewing experience most suitable for them and their family. And hello to Captain Trek. I'm gonna let you know what I just let Gazillionaire know. Lines are open, so if you would like to come on the show, I will send you the StreamYard link. Okay, so the article continues by saying Netflix run of Marvel originals got its start with the launch of Daredevil in April of 2015. I was about to say August for some reason. All of the Netflix Marvel series were canceled in 2018 and 2019 in the lead up to the November 2019 launch of Disney Plus. But a contract prevented Netflix Marvel shows and characters from appearing in any non Netflix series or films for at least 2 years after each one's cancellation. November 2020 marked 2 years since the Daredevil cancellation, thus opening the door for leading star Charlie Cox to reprise the fan favorite character in Disney's Marvel Cinematic Universe. That event finally took place in Spider Man No Way Home, in which Cox had a cameo appearance as his out of costume character, Matt Murdock. Both Cox and Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige have expressed interest in more Daredevil. The move to Disney Plus means Daredevil and all the former Netflix Marvel series will be available to stream alongside other Marvel Cinematic Universe original series such as WandaVision and Loki. Plus, MCU movies such as Avengers Endgame. Although Daredevil actor Charlie Cox showed up in Spider Man No Way Home, that film will not stream on Disney Plus as it was produced by Sony. None of Tom Holland's standalone Spider-Man films stream on Disney Plus. That is a fact. So for anyone who is a fan of the Netflix Marvel series that they had for a while before they were canceled, well, they're going to have a new home starting on March 16th, which is the middle of this month. And I'm sure there are people who are looking forward to it. And I'm sure there are people who still watched it on Netflix, maybe not as much as they did during those shows' heyday, but you know, people still watch different shows that are on these different streaming services. Heck, I still watch Next Generation and Deep Space Nine on Netflix, although to be quite honest with you, not as much as I used to, since I do have the Blu-rays and the DVDs of each series. So let's go ahead and move on to other Disney moves. And news, moves and news. All right. So this comes from comicbook.com and it's written by Timothy Adams. It was also posted on March 1st, as the previous article from Variety was. And it says Star Wars The Bad Batch Season 2 update is bad news for fans. Oh, that never sounds good. And hello, Bone. Welcome. Good to see you, brother. Welcome to Pop Talk. As I've told Gazillionaire and Captain Trek, I am going to let you know that there are open lines for tonight. If you would like to come on, I can either DM you the link or I can put the link in the chat. It's up to you if you'd like to come on or not. So, what's this bad news that they have in store for Disney? Star Wars fans or fans of the Bad Batch? Let's read this and find out. It says the wait for the second season of Star Wars The Bad Batch may be longer than initially anticipated. The Bad Batch is a follow up to Star Wars Clone Wars, focusing on the ragtag team of Clone Force 99, whereas the Stormtrooper clones become puppets of the Empire of the Emperor, after he gave Order 66. The Bad Batch were immune to the mental command thanks to their genetic mutations. After being introduced in the final season of Clone Wars, the Bad Batch premiered with 16 episodes in the summer of 2021. A new report gives a better idea of when fans can expect season 2 to premiere on Disney Plus. Reddit user BZPJMJ64 via the direct got their hands on a copy of Star Wars Insider 209. A photo from an inside page of the magazine shows a production diary of movies, and television series currently filming. Under the in production section are Star Wars Andor, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Below them in the coming soon area is Star Wars The Bad Batch, where it's been in the past. However, the previous display of spring 2022 is now gone, meaning the second season of the animated series is possibly pushed back into the back half of 2022. It says an older issue of Star Wars Insider revealed the spring 2022 release window for the Bad Batch. Even with it missing, fans shouldn't get too worked up over having to wait for the show's second season. The Book of Boba Fett recently concluded, which provided a nice tie-in to The Mandalorian season 3 and the upcoming Ahsoka Tano series. It also may have set up a Jedi Academy series since viewers got to see the creation of a new Jedi Academy by Luke Skywalker as he tried to recruit Grogu to be his first student. However, Grogu chose to rejoin Din Djarin instead. Star Wars The Bad Batch was officially renewed for season 2 in August 2021. Fans have enthusiastically embraced the action and drama of Star Wars The Bad Batch, and we are excited to see Star Wars animated universe continue to expand on Disney Plus, said Michael Michael Paul, president of Disney Plus and ESPN Plus, as the dedicated streaming home for the Star Wars franchise. We can't wait for the second season of this fan favorite animated series. Goes on to say, the entire Lucasfilm animation team and I would like to thank Disney Plus and our fans for the opportunity to continue telling the story of the Bad Batch, executive producer Dave Filoni added. What do you make of the Bad Batch possibly not debuting this spring? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Well, I'm going to let you all know my thoughts in the comments. I've got one good guess as to why the Bad Batch isn't going to be premiering when they say it is, and that's because of Obi-Wan Kenobi. They probably don't want to have two competing Star Wars series, and yeah, I know they're not necessarily competing, but two Star Wars series on their streaming service all at the same time. No, I could be wrong in that guess. I could be looking at it from a completely different view instead of the one that Disney would want me to look at it from, but that's the point of view I'm looking at it from. And speaking of Obi-Wan Kenobi, I do have an article here that actually talks about Obi-Wan Kenobi. And for some reason, I don't know why StreamYards is acting up tonight. So I'm going to do what I have done in the past, and I have continued to do, is I am putting the links to the articles that I am reading. This way, you all can read them, and I will try to refresh it. Uh, gotta love StreamYards, right? Stop that. And let's go ahead and try it again. This has happened to me before. You can go ahead and say, you boomered it, Mike. Go ahead. No offense will be taken. And let me go ahead and read the comments before I read this next article. It's great to see that everyone is saying hello to each other. And Bone says, I stopped watching Disney Marvel. I canceled my Disney Plus. I don't blame you. I did, but too little too late. So they got me for another year. And since I do share the account with someone who enjoys it, I decided, all right, fine. Disney Plus needs content. It's not about competition among series. It's about spreading it out as much as possible. Yeah, you're right, Gunzillionaire. So, this article from comicbook.com says Star Wars latest Obi-Wan Kenobi series rumor claims major Jedi character making a return. Could we see Mace Windu in a flashback? And I do want to say hello to Pop Culture Mechanic. Good to see you, brother. This article is by Kofi Outlaw. Love the name. And it was posted on March 1st. And hello to GMC. How you doing, brother? GMC says, I have little to no faith in Obi-Wan, but because I am bored, a bored nerd with little better else to do, I know I will watch it. I am cautious about it, especially after having watched all 7 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett. Or you could say that it was about the Tusken Raiders in the first half, then one episode you can say was actually about Boba Fett, then the rest was about Mando and Grogu, and so yeah, I I don't have high hopes for Obi-Wan Kenobi. I just don't. And GMC says I didn't think the Book of Boba Fett was very good. No, it wasn't. To be honest, they dropped the ball. All right, so it says Star Wars fans, let me try this again, are eagerly awaiting the arrival of the Obi-Wan Kenobi event series on Disney Plus. The series will bring back Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi for a rematch or two with Hayden Christensen's Darth Vader, with Obi-Wan series serving as something of an epilogue to the Star Wars prequel trilogy as well as a bridge to the original trilogy. It's been no surprise to hear rumors swirling that major Star Wars prequel characters are returning for cameos. All right. The latest rumor is one that ironically addresses one of the first characters that Star Wars fans speculated about seeing in the Obi-Wan series, Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn, who was played in the Star Wars prequels by Liam Neeson. Making Star Wars, Jason Ward was speaking with Star Wars Santa, and they were discussing the possibilities of which iconic Jedi characters Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan will make contact with. When the discussion reached the odds of Yoda showing up in the series, it was wondered whether Yoda would show up in person or through some sort of Force Skype connection. According to what Ward says, Yoda isn't the only character with that question hanging over his head. Goes on to say, well, that's my question about Qui Gon. Ward states in the video, I know Qui Gon's in it, but I don't know if he's a voiceover or if he's a physical ghost. He quickly added, that was a really big scoop, by the way. I just dropped, I know he's in it now. Like I know, I've been told, gives thumbs up sign. And the article proceeds to go on as soon as I can get it down a little further. Indeed, a lot of Star Wars fans have been wondering less about if Liam Neeson would return as Qui Gon Jinn in the Obi-Wan series and more about how that cameo will occur. Qui-Gon, of course, died in a duel with Darth Maul during the Battle of Naboo in Star Wars Phantom Menace. However, Qui-Gon was also the first Jedi of that era to master transcendence of death and return as a Force ghost. Qui-Gon taught Yoda the technique, but he never really got a full story on how Obi-Wan mastered it. As well, perhaps this is Obi perhaps this Obi-Wan Kenobi series will kill two birds with one stone by having Obi-Wan visit Yoda to learn the Force Ghost technique. with a little guidance from Qui-Gon's Force Ghost. Well, all right, correct me if I'm wrong, but I seem to recall at the end of Revenge of the Sith, Yoda telling Obi-Wan that he will teach Obi-Wan how to commune with his old master. Jet, correct me if I'm wrong, but I seem to recall Yoda saying that. And Godzillionaire says, could it be Darth Maul? And low spec Linux laptop, welcome, brother. Ultraman, yes, I will get to that story. I will get to it. And he has a waddling penguin. Why? Because we have a punk waddle appearance. Hell, brother. Good to see you. All right. So it says, if not that, Liam Neeson could indeed simply lend his voice to the series as Qui Gon's ghost is heard but unseen by an inexperienced Obi Wan, or there could be flashbacks to a DH Neeson and McGregor adventuring as Master and Padawan years before Star Wars TV has proven itself capable of any of these scenarios, and fans will likely take Neeson back any way they can get him. Okay, it goes on to say, for his part, Liam Neeson said he'd come back for Obi-Wan early last year. I'll be honest with you, I haven't heard that at all. Neeson told Collider about rumors of his cameo before adding, sure, I'd be up for that, yeah. And it goes on to say that Obi-Wan streams on Disney Plus in May. So, what do you all think? Would you watch the series just to see Liam Neeson come back as Qui-Gon Jinn, whether it be in just a voiceover or if he's actually physically there or, shown as a Force Ghost? Let's see what you guys say in the chat. Punk Waddle says, well, I think low specs Linux was a penguin before. I thought it was cool to be one, but you never know. Could be separated at birth. But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. It, in my opinion, it would be nice to see Liam Neeson on screen again as Qui Gon. It just really depends, in my point of view, how they do it. Yes, a voiceover could work, but wouldn't you rather see him there, standing there in the Jedi robes again? Heck, I'd like to see a flashback where he is wielding the lightsaber again. I don't know, but I'm also cautiously optimistic, only because of what's happened with the Book of Boba Fett. And don't worry about Nightbot. I'm still getting all the bugs for Nightbot worked out, so it's just an ongoing thing. It's all cameos and member berries. They are totally out of ideas. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. I'm not going to disagree with that. And Roll Tide. Hello, Keely Chow. How you doing, brother? What's going on? Well, just talking about different news stories I've seen today related to Star Wars, Star Trek, Ultraman, Bender, and Futurama. If you play Twisted Metal, guess what? There's a Twisted Metal series coming, and a few other tidbits. And Low Spec says, I pissed off Nightbot. That's okay. Nightbot is sensitive. So, yeah. I do agree with you, Godzillionaire, that it is all member berries. So, you know what? change it up a little bit. Let's go ahead and get into one of our other stories, shall we? So, anybody a fan of Ultraman or has seen Ultraman in the past? I remember back in the 90s, there was an Ultraman series on there in syndication, and I actually watched a couple episodes. I can't really say I remember much about it, but I watched a couple episodes and thought it was pretty cool. But of course, it was also airing at the same time Power Rangers was hitting it big. So, you bring over any series that you can to compete with it and see where you can go, I guess. But this article is from About It in the Comics, and it was released just today. And it's by Spencer Bacali. It says New Ultraman Trigger Episode Z film to receive international streaming and video on demand release alongside Japanese premiere. And I want to just have a disclaimer real quick. I am probably going to butcher the names, but please just bear with it. And let's see. Godzilla says Ultraman tends to fight my cousins. Well, sorry to hear about that, man. But if your cousins would stop causing trouble, he wouldn't have to fight them. Come on, man. And Low Spec says 1966 Ultraman didn't catch the spinoffs. Okay. And Bone says it's been a while since I've seen Ultraman. And it goes to say Tusabria Productions has announced that its upcoming Ultraman Trigger film, Episode Z, will receive a simultaneous international screening followed by an immediate video on demand release alongside its premiere in Japan theaters. Okay. As announced by esteemed Takatsu production company, Ultraman Trigger Episode Z will be screened live to the Ultraman Connection website on March 18th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, dropping in concurrence with the opening of Japanese theaters on the day of the film's debut. Alongside this live screening, to, sup- eh, to Subraya Productions will also hosts a special commentary program featuring a trio of the series actors, including Yuna Shizuma, Yuzari actress, Runa Toyota, or Toyota. I'm probably mispronouncing it. Haruki Natsukawa, Ultraman Z actor, Kashu Harano, and Ultraman Trigger himself, Kenju Manka. Manaka, sorry. I hate it when I butcher these names. Further, the film will be released on video on demand immediately following its premiere screening, allowing fans to rent the film at their leisure. However, it should be noted that fans who purchase the video on demand will not retain unlimited access to the film. Rather, as the film's official pre order website explains, once playback begins, the rental will remain active for 48 hours. So, pretty much similar to any other service that you rent a movie from. A perfect example of that is Amazon. It says tickets for the Ultraman Trigger Episode Z live screening with which comes with a complimentary rental of the film are currently available for $11.99 US. So that's not too bad. I don't think it is. A standalone rental of the film is also available for $4.99. Says picking up 2 years after the conclusion of the most recent entry in the long running Toku series, Ultraman Trigger New Generation Taiga, Ultraman Trigger Episode Z will answer mysteries left in the wake of Ultraman Trigger's final battle against Megalothor. Goes on to say, at the end of the Trigger series, we bade a tearful farewell to Kenjo Manaka, the incarnation of light, and his allies in Gut Select. Reads a brief synopsis provided by Tsuburaya Productions. As Ultraman Trigger, Kenjo seemed to sacrifice himself to contain the Eternity Core. The story seemed over, but not quite. Well, any of these long running series, they never truly end. What brings Kenjo back? The synopsis continues, and why Ultraman Z is once again fighting the forces of evil alongside Trigger. It's a big team up. Fans interested in catching up on Ultraman Trigger New Generation Tiga before the premiere of Ultraman Trigger Episode Z can currently stream every episode on the series on Ultraman Connection or the official Ultraman YouTube channel. Are you excited for the summer release of Ultraman Trigger Episode Z? Well, how about you guys? Yeah, Kaiju. Thank you. And Lospec also has been told by a Japanese friend that Ultraman 7 is good. Okay. And Godzillionaire says the most recent Netflix anime was okay, a little weird. All right. And that's funny you should mention that, Godzillionaire, because that was a series that was just recently recommended to me amongst many other animes. And I'm just thinking to myself, okay, I've got to really bide my time with some of these Netflix anime series and other anime series because I have a whole slew of anime to catch up on. Ugh. And honestly, I I I'm not a fan of Dragon Ball Z, to be honest, and I don't even want to start on One Piece just because of how many episodes both those series have. But that's just me. And speaking of anime, let's go ahead and talk about this. Funimation content moving to Crunchyroll for world's largest anime library. That's all well and good, but if you ever try to stream an anime on Funimation's website, good luck. Talk about buffering from hell. And of course, this is by Funimation because they released this news and they released it just yesterday. And it says huge news anime just powered up. Funimation, which serves millions of anime fans in over 52 countries and 10 languages, will be unifying under the Crunchyroll brand. This move will include Funimation's subsidiary. Yeah, oh man, I'm gonna butcher this. I'm sorry. Wacom? I don't know. Maybe I'll just make it up as I go along. I don't know. Anyways, it says as well as Crunchyroll's VRV to create one subscription service for our anime fans worldwide. What does this mean? This means all your anime all on one platform. Starting today, tons of shows and movies from Funimation and Wakame will begin arriving on Crunchyroll, so you'll get more dubs, more subs, more of everything you've come to love. That includes blockbuster titles like My Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Fruits Basket, and Crunchyroll favorites like Odd Taxi, Tokyo Revengers, and Naruto Shippuden, all under one subscription. Check out the list of new arrivals on Crunchyroll with more to come. And I'm going to go ahead and post a link to this article and also the list of shows that are coming on. I'm trying, Bone. I'm trying. Sometimes it's just one of those things where you have to hear the name in order to know how it's supposed to be pronounced. Although for me, I've been more of a visual learner, but if I hear something, then I'll know. And Punk Waddle says, I'm just not a big fan of the show and jump animes in general. I understand. It's like I've tried to get into you know, Dragon Ball Z, and I just haven't been able to. And I've even told a friend who's been trying to get me into it. And I said, it's not for me. It just isn't. Okay, so it goes on to say this means that new anime series in the upcoming spring season, the biggest on record, stay tuned, and beyond will only stream on Crunchyroll as we move forward. Funimation will only add new episodes of continuing series, which means that you'll want to move to a Crunchyroll account as soon as possible. That's why now, as we welcome to the new Crunchyroll family, Funimation, Wakame, and VRV subscribers get a special deal for 60 days of Crunchyroll Premium free. Over the next few days, qualified Funimation, Wakame, and VRV subscribers will receive an email with their unique link to redeem. And of course, if anyone is subscribed, I'll go ahead and post this link that gives you some instructions. There we go. And again, thank you all for coming by tonight. I mean, I never know, if there's going to be one person or maybe two people, or if, I'm going to have a whole slew of people. I mean, you just never know, but I try to have fun regardless. And it says, with an announcement this big, we know there are bound to be questions. And of course, there's this frequently asked question page. So, in case anybody is subscribed to Funimation, there you go, helping out. Okay, has answers to help Crunchyroll, Funimation, Wakaname, and VRV users. New users can also explore Crunchyroll's awesome titles, community, and events like Crunchyroll Expo and the Anime Awards by checking out this handy Welcome to Crunchyroll guide. As Crunchyroll and Funimation enter this new era together, we couldn't be more excited to bring together a vibrant community of anime fans, creators, and artists. Thank you for taking anime to the next level with us. Well, right now, anime is where it's at. And I'm not just saying that just for the sake of saying it. Even I've made the transition over to anime. And this is coming from someone who spent 20 plus years telling that very same friend who tried to get me into Dragon Ball Z that I will never become an anime fan. Well, you know what they say never. All right, so let's see what you guys think about all this. Let's see. Pop Culture Mechanic says, I prefer subs, but Funimation messes with the translation and twists the meanings to be more woke. Yeah, I've noticed that. I noticed that in the fifth season episode of My Hero Academia. And hello to the Padawannabe. Welcome, brother. Good to see you. And yes, in case you guys are wondering, Padawannabe and Pop Culture Mechanic, We are still on for Saturday's collector stream at 8 o'clock Eastern. And the Padawannabe says, wow, hey, chatters. And the Padawannabe says, animation is finally accepted in mainstream culture. Well, it should have been accepted a long time ago. I mean, let's face it, there are some good Western animated movies and shows that are out there that people haven't discovered, but there's a lot of anime that needs to be discovered and embraced because it's good. They focus on story. They don't add any unnecessary plot twists or anything like that. And pop culture mechanics is right on. The Padawannabe says, "Sweet, I'll get my toys ready." All right. I am going to show off a few things. I'm not going to show off everything, but I am going to show off a few things that I have. Some related to, Star Wars, some related to Star Trek, and also my collection of Cub hats. And don't get me started on the Major League Baseball season not starting this year. I will say that for the box score, but I do have an opinion on it. Boys, I'm right there with you. Well, Punk Waddle, if you'd like to come on for Saturday's stream at 8 o'clock Eastern, you're more than welcome to, brother. Everybody's always welcome to come on a stream with me. I don't mind. All right, so let's see. All right, let's go ahead and talk about something else because I do have an opinion on this. So, yeah, this comes from the New York Times and it was posted on Monday. It says Disney's new Star Wars hotel includes a tricked out suite that cost up to 20K. Who in their oh, I'm trying not to say it, but who in their damn mind would pay 20K to stay in a suite in a hotel that's exterior looks like a bunker? I mean, I like Star Wars, I like Star Trek, but there is no way, no chance in hell I would pay 20K to stay in a suite or $6,000 to stay in a hotel for only 2 nights. Hell no. And for anyone who's new to this channel, yes, I do curse at times. And let's see, before I get into the article, Low Spec says, I just started anime, Death Note, and Akira so far. Yes, Akira's great. Akira's awesome. Pop Culture Mechanics is right on. And Captain Trek says, I'm too kind. I am who I am, and I try to treat people with respect and dignity, and just try to treat people the way you want to be treated. It's not that hard to do, really. It isn't that hard to treat everybody the way we want to be treated. And as my late mother used to say, it's not hard to smile. It's not hard to show somebody a smile because you never know that smile might brighten up their day. And she was a nurse for over 30 years. And the Padawannabe says toys, comics, Lego, Zoids, Batman stuff, games, books, cards, Dinosaurs. It'll be fun. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. And hello, brother. What is up, my brother? Common Sense America, also known as the Smoking Patriot. As I've said in this broadcast, if anybody would like to come on, I can DM them the link. I can put the link in the chat. It's up to you. I'm just having fun tonight. And let's see. Pop Culture Mechanic says, the Padawannabe can't wait to see what you got. Padawannabe says, I can think of ways to get lots of stuff I would want for 1,000. If it was 20K, I could skip the trip but all that stuff. Yeah, you could buy all that stuff that you wanted. Yeah, way too much. Captain Trek says 20K. I better get a working phaser, all settings. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Pop Culture Mechanic says forget the Disney Hotel. Go buy a car with that 20K. Exactly. Exactly. All right, brother. I am going to send you the link. And that goes for anyone else who wants to come on. If you want to come on, chat it up, you're all more than welcome. If you follow me on Twitter, I can DM it to you on Twitter. If we are part of a server on Discord, I can send it to you on Discord. Patriot, link has been sent. Let the rant begin about paying $20,000 damn dollars to stay at a bunker. At a bunker. Gosh. 20K. No, I can't get over it. No. At a bunker. Is it like a bantha?
Like a bantha. Yes.
I don't know. I don't. You know where I'd rather stay? I'd rather stay at a Klingon themed hotel where the guests are greeted like this.
Glory to you and your house.
That's where I'd rather stay. Or, as I said this morning in a live stream chat, and Punk Waddle, you were there at Purple Valkyrie's stream, I'd rather show up in a Starfleet uniform to troll. But anyways, article is written by Alexandra Stagrad, and it says Disney's new Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel, which lately has been blasted for being overpriced, reportedly is offering luxury suites that will cost as much as $20,000 for a 2-night stay. Okay, it says to stay at the immersive Orlando, Florida based Star Wars hotel, a family of 4 will pay about $6,000 for 2 nights with lodging, meals, entertainment included, but those looking for a more spacious, tricked out suite can expect to shell out an eye-popping 20,000 according to a report. What? You could pay 6,000 to see a badly choreographed lightsaber fight between Rey and Kylo Ren. No. Or you could sit at the captain's table. No. Screw that. Welcome, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me on, man.
Anytime. Well, we always have fun.
We always do.
You got anything to say about spending 20,000 for a suite?
Okay, so as somebody who has stayed at many different Disney resorts and been on 2 or 3 Disney cruises, only money, no parts, no deal. and no one else has a D70 hyperdrive. I promise you that. Okay, I'm done with that part.
Are you sure you're done with it, little Eddie? Okay, for
But
anyone who's new to Pop Talk, we tend to have fun.
yes, wild rabbit trails and everything. So my experience is this with Disney. I've stayed at multiple resorts. I've been on several Disney cruises, and um, the last time I stayed at a Disney resort was 2015. Um, and you could stay at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. Now, just let me tell you. So the Animal Kingdom Lodge is like African themed, like safari African themed, and if you got the right room, you could actually wake up and there would be a giraffe walking in front of your room. Like you could literally be sitting outside with your significant other, or if you just went even by yourself and sit outside with a cup of coffee, you could see rhinoceros, you could see zebras, you could see giraffes. Okay. You could
Mhm.
stay a week at this hotel and it would cost you maybe 3K if you stayed a week, maybe and whatnot, probably less. And Disney cruises, you per person, you'd spend maybe up to 2K for a week long cruise. And remember, that's all your food, all the soda. That is, you get you get your night sit down nightly meal. You get a fireworks show. You get all that stuff. Okay,
Mhm.
it's not even close to. I mean, 20K could you could have the most lavish Disney experience. And I'm talking with a family of four. You can have a very lavish Disney experience and still walk away with money in your pocket if you had to spend 20K. For 2 nights, not worth it. Especially
No,
after the live stream Drunk 3PO did of all the actual footage from it. There's no way that's even close to even well, what is it? 3 or 4K a person? It's not even not even worth it.
no, it's not. And I got to be honest. My sister and I went to Disney World 2 years ago, prior to everything going crazy,
Hmm.
and even the amount of money that we spent to go wasn't all that much because we were looking for deals.
Hmm. Yeah, there's ways of maximizing your um there's ways of maximizing your money. Like they have like meal plans and
Hmm.
you typically do those when you're booking your hotel, and depending on the meal plan, it's so much extra per day. So the one me and my ex used to do is you got what was it? It was one counter service, meaning like like if you went to a hotel or you went to a theme park and you go to get a meal in one, it was either one or two. I think it was two counter service, one snack, and a snack could be anything from a banana to those massive Rice Krispie treats. Could be anything
Yeah.
like that, and then one sit down meal. So, and what you could even do is that let's say there was a very, very high end restaurant. Well, you could
Mhm.
take two of your sit downs to have that one night. So, and the thing is, some of these counter service meals are so big that, you might just have a banana for lunch, had use a counter service for for lunch, and then another counter service for dinner, and then have that really nice meal. So there was ways of making it happen, and it's way best to do that. I don't know if they still do that, but as somebody who's been to Disney and spent so much money and time and effort and energy at Disney, this is a complete ripoff from everything
It
I have
is.
seen. There's no um, even the experience is nothing better than what you got going to just the Star Wars area of MGM before Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah. And, want to know where I stayed when my sister and I went 2 years ago?
Where?
Orleans Riverside.
Ooh, I've stayed at Port Orleans, Riverside, and French Quarter. Both are high. I highly recommend.
Yep. If if you do go to Disney World because you've never been there and you've always wanted to go, I recommend Port Orleans Riverside because it is, away from the hustle and bustle of the noise, and you can actually walk around and wind down from a day of walking the parks and just relax.
Mm-hmm.
So, this article continues by saying in recent months, there has been fierce backlash by Disney World fans over the sky high prices leading up to the hotel's March 1st opening. Last December, the Mouse House scrubbed the promotional video from Twitter and YouTube after fans slammed the lodging as subpar and too expensive. Well, it is too expensive. It's too freaking
Yeah.
expensive, especially with everything that's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're all trying to keep a roof over our heads. We're all trying to pay our, heating and electric bill. It says the lightsaber training looks about as exciting as a roadside sobriety test. One Disney watcher commented on YouTube, "It's way too expensive," another said. The New York Times, which recently got a preview of the hotel, laid out some of the egregious additional costs guests can expect to pay outside of the basic experience fee. Ah, gee, just keep asking for money. I don't know who's worse, Disney or Ferengi. That's a little joke. That was a little joke. Obviously, it didn't go over. All right. So it says a stay at the hotel does not include alcohol, which runs around $13 for beer. Gosh, what am I going to a ball game? 11 and up for wine, and 23 for specialty drinks or any fun Star Wars themed extras, the report says. For instance, it costs 99 minimum to hire a photographer for a portrait, or if you want to sit at the head of the captain's table in the Star Cruiser's Crown of Corellia dining room, you'll need to cough up an extra $30. Why? You know what? I wish Star Trek The Experience was still around. I'd rather sit at Quark's bar and have an Endorian walk by, have a Ferengi walk by, have a Klingon walk by, and the only thing I have to pay for is my meal. You don't even need a ticket into the experience, at least you didn't when I went, to go eat at Quark's bar. Now, if you wanted to experience everything else, yeah, you had to pony up the money for a ticket. Ay, ay, ay. Said it right there, Black Dragon. Disney. Hey. Okay, so it continues to say for guests who really want to get into character, there's an on site hair and makeup team on call as well as a gift shop teaming with costumes. The Times said that while hair and makeup prices are still being worked out, Pagruda head tails will set you back $100 at the gift shop. And as I saw what these Togruta head tails look like, they're basically dressing you up as Ahsoka. It says the hotel is being billed as an immersive experience by Disney, hence the high prices. You did not simply book a room for the night, but you board the 275-year-old space liner dubbed the Halcyon and travel to Star Wars planet and back. Ah, jeez. You know what? Star Trek The Experience is looking better and better. It's too bad it's not there in Vegas anymore. I'd go there again in a heartbeat. Says all journeys are 2 nights and a guest stay in one of 100 cabins. So you don't even have that many rooms. While the astronomically High-priced cabins do not have any windows. Guests will instead get a view of screens playing videos of stars, planets, and asteroid showers. Similar to an immersive theater experience, like the popular Sleep No More characters interact with guests during the voyage. According to the Times, a guest might be asked to deliver a secret message or be dispatched to the engine room to help repair a fuel valve. Oh, I'm sorry for laughing, but you know, there's only one engineer I trust when it comes to an engine room, and that's his
I
man.
know this ship like the back of my hand.
And even he would probably walk into that room and go, "Captain, you gotta take much water. This whole ship's gonna blow."
I mean, yeah, you got your Belana Torres and you got your Jordi LaFords, but let's just be real. They don't compare to Montgomery Scott. He invented the stuff that they take for granted.
I know I shouldn't mock it, but $6,000, that's a waste of money. I mean, I know I shouldn't tell people how to spend their money. I know, but I can think of better ways to spend $6,000.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm currently looking up. So if I wanted to stay at the Animal Kingdom Lodge, okay, this is the one I told you about where it's like African safari themed. All right,
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking. I'm just doing a quick search. Let's see, Savannah pool. I want. Let's just go. Let's say you have family, you need 2 beds. So we'll go. We'll go. Sleeps up to 6 adults. Okay, we'll go this one, and we'll say March 16th through the 22nd, and we'll just say 2 adults. We'll just say 2 adults for this room here. Let's just see how much it would be. Oh, okay, that room type is not available. Okay, so then what room types are available? Dear Lord, do you have anything available?
Well, if they don't check Port Orleans Riverside.
Well, no, but I'm trying to go more of a very
I
premium kind.
I
So
I, I
let's
know
go.
I know
Let's go March
I know.
30th, the 5th. Apparently, March is not a good month to go to Animal Kingdom because there is nothing available. But you know what? No. Okay, so you said, let's see, where is that one? Okay, you know what? We'll do Riverside.
Okay.
Riverside, same dates, the March 30th through August 5th. And so Riverside does not have a sit down, but they do have like a bar area. So if you wanted to sit down meal,
Yeah.
you'd have to go to downtown Disney would be the place where they got a lot of them.
Yeah, and at the bar you can listen to U-Haul Bob. I actually did get to take some video of that on our last night there with my sister.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Jeez, these dates are March is must be it. Okay, we'll go April 13th. Okay, so this is what 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. Yeah, so this is 1 week. Okay, so if you wanted a king bed, okay,
Mhm.
This is one of the more premium areas of the resort. It's $382. Okay, so we'll select this room, and this can hold two. So let's just say again, it's you and your boyfriend, or you and your like say you and your brother are going out because you want to just take them out and everything. So we'll say no ticket, no park ticket, and no genie. $2,578.
Okay.
That's how much it
Uh,
would be at Riverside, which is considered the higher end of the moderate class of, like, if you have to classify them, they're considered moderate, but they're on the high end of the moderate. Okay,
okay.
and this room has a great view, so it's overlooking the courtyard and a lot of the other stuff. Okay, king bed, and these are some decent sized rooms at Riverside.
Yeah, they are.
It's it's almost $2,600.
And like I said, the nice thing about Riverside is you're away from the hustle and bustle, unlike a lot of the other hotels where you're still around the noise. And
Mm-hmm.
because
And
I can't speak for everybody, I can speak for myself. But as I've gotten older, it's just that part of me that wants peace of quiet after, going to a baseball game during the day, going to a convention during the day, or going to a theme park. Want that peace and quiet.
yeah, and the nice thing also about Riverside and French Quarter, they are literally right next to each other, so you could actually like be in Riverside and then walk down to the French Quarter resort if you want like some
Mhm.
beignets or a little bit of like, New Orleans-esque style food, jambalaya. But the nice thing about Riverside is that they have boat ferries that you
Yep.
can get on, and it will take you to downtown Disney, so you don't have to drive there. The buses and are can be crazy, but you get like kind of like a little river taxi that takes you through like this canal system, takes you by Fort Wilderness, and there's certain ferries that only go to certain places. And this ferry, it goes to I think it first goes to French Quarter because French Quarter's closest to the exit of the canal system. So it goes to French Quarter first, then it goes to Riverside. But it's beautiful, and this is and and again, this is somebody who's been to Disney many times, and I've stayed at many of the resorts there, so I have a pretty good idea of what I could say. And I'm telling you right now, you could easily take a family of four for 20K. You could stay at a very high end resort. You could go 7 days at the parks, and I would obviously do
Mhm.
meal plan. You could spend an ungodly amount on merch, and you could spend an ungodly amount on alcohol, and I guarantee you wouldn't even come close to 20K. And you
No,
would
you
literally
would.
have the trip of a lifetime.
And
It's
see,
I
even if you don't stay on Disney property, you can still save yourself a hell of a lot of money. I
Oh
know I'm
yeah, you
stating
could
the
stay.
obvious. I do
Oh
that
yeah.
well.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, again, and this is somebody who has, I've stayed off property as well. Granted, it was like at like La Quinta-esque style places, and we started staying there actually because it was actually cheaper to stay there than it was on Disney property. Even at the low end, even the bottom of the barrel, which is like your all star. So you have like all star movies, sports, and music. They were like the cheapest. At one point, you could stay at at one of the all stars back
Mhm.
in the from between the time of 2000 to 2010. You could actually stay at one of those resorts on certain times if you're a Florida resident for, I want to say it was like $40 a night. So my family and I would do impromptu Disney trips. So we'd be like, "Hey, let's go to Disney for the weekend." So, me and my brothers and my parents, me and my brothers, we'd all cram into one bed, and my parents would be in another bed. Um, Actually, no, we'd have to get two rooms because my grandfather would come with us. So, but we would get two rooms, so it cost us maybe a couple hundred. It cost us maybe 200. for 2 rooms for like a little 3-day kind of like weekend getaway, and we go to the parks because we were pass holders. So we'd go to parks and we would just have a fun time because you could do it pretty darn cheap for a family of 6.
You could.
Now it's like which child do you love the least? Because you're gonna have to sell him just to, It's like, well, you're a newly married couple. Okay, how many of your unborn children do you want to sell right now so you can have this nice Disney weekend trip?
We'll give you a deal if you toss in one of your kidneys. Yes.
It's
Well, you know what? I have something to say to that kid. It may not be nice, but it's fact. And I mean, sorry, kid.
He said, "Today is a good day to die."
That will never get old, by the way.
We shall sing songs of your wallet's defeat at the hands of Disney.
I remember. So just to tell you one of the amazing stories that I have of Disney. I have so many memories and so many stories with my family. I could be here for days and never tell them all. But one of them is at the Food and Wine Festival. They would have for about 6 weeks, and you have your usual countries. You have your 10 countries there, including America. Well, then they would introduce another like 15 countries, about 15 countries. And me, my cousin, one of my cousins, my 2 brothers, and my uncle, we all decided to drink our way around the world. Now, remember, we're not talking the 10. We're talking all 25. Well, sorry, two of them did not have alcoholic drinks, so it was technically 23 countries, and it could be anything. It could be anything in the alcoholic drink section. We drank our way around the world. You want to talk about a weekend to never forget? That was yeah.
I know what you mean. I've seen videos where people are doing that in their video, and we hear you, brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when we went back to the because we stayed at one of the All-Stars, we went back and we slammed down a bunch of Long Islands after we got back.
That sounds like fun.
From the park. The bartender that night was killing it on those Long Islands. He was making the kind of Long Islands they go down so easily. He was just rocking them. So we're just like, yeah, can we get 5 Long Islands? The next person go up, can I get 5 more? We're just all sitting around by the pool, just slamming Long Islands after.
And then let me guess what it was at the end of the night.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Tired, but because you're in the heat and you're drinking a lot. But I was fine. But some of the other members were just. But that's the thing. It's like we did that, and for Food and Wine, you'd save up. Because you get all the additional countries there. So I saved up a lot of money to do the Food and Wine specifically and everything. But that's the thing. Disney used to be a place where even somebody who's only making, say, $30K a year could actually go and stay at Disney sometimes and get the annual pass holder and go there regularly and buy stuff once in a while and have a meal there sometimes and whatnot. Like the average person could afford it. Now they don't care about, the lower and middle class. We are obsolete. We are insignificant buffoons to them.
Which is stupid because that's not what their quarterly earnings is saying.
Yeah, I know, right? Seriously.
I don't want to be says Glenn on Blood Wine. We'll do it to you every time. Yes, it will.
Well, what's the vintage? That gal that
2309. There is
2309.
No finer vintage.
Bottle. I brought a barrel of 2309.
Speaking of which, I'm taking a page out of Neproil Lifeform for a shameless plug. Sunday at 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern, unless times change. Times could change. He and I are going to be doing a live stream over on his channel where we're going to be talking about our favorite Klingon episodes.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
That will be
Ask me
extreme
about.
worthy.
Yes, it will. Worthy of song, worthy of a true Klingon warrior.
Indeed, brother. Glory to
Ladies
you
and gen-
and your house.
Oh, TKO, you haven't seen it yet. You haven't seen it yet. Watch your screen.
Wait, what?
Are you watching your screen?
Yeah. I'm trying to not be murdered by
Okay.
dinosaurs, of course.
Okay. Here we go.
Glory to you and your house.
I like having fun on Pop Talk. So again, like I said, if you're new to Pop Talk, welcome. This is where the fun begins. So the article finishes off by saying in groups, guests are invited to participate in lightsaber training or thwart an Imperial attack by taking control of the bridge. The 2-night stay also includes a visit to Galaxy's Edge, the Star Wars theme park, and a supper club performance with with cameos from popular characters like Yoda. Despite gripes over the price of the hotels, so far March, April, and most of June are sold out, but it remains to be seen if the expensive project will be a success or a flop. People should hold this to the highest possible standard, Josh Tomorrow, the chairman of Disney Parks Experiences and Products, told the Times. I also knew what was waiting inside, that our Imagineers had created a whole other level of surprise and delight.
Not from the footage I've seen.
Other way of going, oh my gosh, this is embarrassing.
Indeed.
And you're right, pop culture mechanic. They are not following Walt's vision anymore. They shouldn't even call themselves Disney. No, they shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
They need to drop the name.
Yep, pop culture is exactly right.
They can't drop the name. I mean, that's not what it is. That's how you modern times are. Look at what they're doing with the Lord of the Rings. It's take something and then kill it. That's pretty much the name of the game.
Lord of the Rings is gonna suck. I'm just coming out and saying it right now. It's gonna absolutely suck.
Oh, I'm not even going near that with a 10-foot, 20-foot, 30-foot pole.
I'm like Gary from Neurotic. I'm watching the movies over again and enjoying. I'm reading the books and enjoying it. I am not going to waste any time watching Amazon series. Not even hate watch it.
You're not? You're not going to be covering the dumpster fire like the other dumpster fires you've covered? This is where you draw the line?
Limits. There are certain limits.
He's like, this is where I draw the line. I've walked through hell for my viewers. I have tormented my eyes, sat in pools of lament and sorrow for you. But this is where I draw the line.
I mean, considering I've seen 3 seasons of Discovery, I honestly doubt there's much Lord of the Rings could do to make me lose even more of my sanity.
You're just dead inside?
Some days, yes.
All right, Padawannabe, I trust you, brother. I trust your judgment. Watch it and then report back to us. That's if your mind's still intact.
I was about to say, he's not. Once he watches it, we're never going to hear from him again because his head's going to explode. Because I doubt he bought Doom Cop's extra Mark 1000 anti-brain explosion helmet.
No, I just use duct tape.
Yeah, that's not going to stop it from this. When I saw black elves and dwarves, I was like, okay, I know where this is going.
I got a pallet of duct tape, so I think I might be okay.
Bro, you're going to need duct tape, you're going to need Gorilla Glue, and you're going to need titanium alloy. And you're even going to have to install a couple of deflector dishes.
I'm pretty much just gonna sit, in a bunker about 3 miles beneath the surface of the earth with about a pallet's worth of duct tape wrapped around my head and in a straitjacket chained to the floor.
Yeah, I have lost. I don't think that there's anything I'm really hyped for anymore. Like show wise, Orville. That's the only TV show that I'm hyped for. The only one.
Orville only TV show and Top Gun 2 for movies, but that's not coming out till next year.
Top Gun 2, yeah. I can't wait to see my sexy F-18s doing the damn thing.
So, yep.
And the Pata Wannabe says, I definitely didn't say I'll like it, but I'll give it a shot. Well, I'm not going to judge you, Pata Wannabe. You and I, we've talked about Peacemaker, and we agreed that the show was actually better as you gave it a chance. But there is some sad news. I know this is a few days old, but anybody in the chat, if you ever watched MASH, anybody on the panel, if you've ever watched MASH, the TV series, Sally Kellerman, Hot Lips Houlihan in MASH, has passed away at the age of 84. This was posted on the Hollywood Reporter on the 24th of last month.
Damn.
And I have included the link to it in the chat. It says the Oscar-nominated actress and singer also starred in Back to School opposite Rodney Dangerfield and on Maron. Sally Kellerman, the husky voice actress known for her Oscar-nominated portrayal of U.S. Army Major Margaret Hot Lips Houlihan in Robert Altman's MASH, has died. She was 84. Kellerman, who also sang and had a Grand Funk Railroad tune written for her, died Thursday morning at an assisted care facility in Woodland Hills after a battle with dementia. Her son, Jack Crane, told The Hollywood Reporter. A native Californian, Kellerman had a memorable role in the third Star Trek episode Where No Man Has Gone Before, in which she portrayed Dr. Elizabeth Denner, a human Starfleet officer aboard the Enterprise. When Denner sacrifices her life, her dying words to Captain Kirk, William Shatner, are, I'm sorry, you can't know what it's like to be almost a god.
Huh.
And it goes on to say, in the comedy Back to School, Kellerman was wonderful as the free-spirited college literature professor Diane Turner, the love interest of Rodney Dangerfield's obnoxious rags-to-riches businessman Thornton Mellon. This is my one brag in life, the director Alan Metter said. He felt that I helped make Rodney human, believable in a relationship. Because I just had to love him and be sincere about it, Kellerman said in 2016. Mark Maron's WTF podcast. She played Maron's eccentric mom in his IFC comedy. Kellerman also noted that when fans encountered her in public, they either yelled, "Hey, Hot Lips," or recited a classic Dangerfield line from Back to School. Call me sometime when you got no class. Yes, and I have seen Back to School. Funny movie. Classic. I recommend it to anyone who hasn't seen it. This is my one bragging life. Okay, I already read that. Never mind. Sorry. Goes on to say Kellerman had appeared in guest starring stints on many TV shows of the 1960s, including The Outer Limits, 12 O'Clock High, Ben Casey, Batgirl, and Mannix. When she won the role of the by the books Houlihan and MASH, an adaptation of Richard Hooker's 1968 novel about army surgeons saving lives during the Korean War. One of her most famous scenes in the movie came when she is embarrassingly pranked in the shower. Kellerman had never been nude on screen, so Ottman devised distractions for the shot, she said. When I looked up, there was actor Gary Berghoff, stark naked, standing in front of me, she recalled in 2016. The next take, Altman had Tamara Horrocks. She was the more amply endowed nurse without her shirt on. So I attribute my Academy Award nomination to the people who made my mouth hang open. It goes on to say, regarding the humiliation her character endured, Kellerman said, I loved Bob, but he was a real male chauvinist, probably the worst. I'm kidding, sort of kidding, but I think that Torment really saved Hot Lips. She grew up after that. She'd been so uptight, so rigid, no sense of humor. And after all that went down, she started having a really good time, a real life. In a 2013 interview, Kellerman remembered that when the MASH crew was watching the dailies, Altman told her, You're going to get nominated for an Oscar for this one. She wound up losing to the sentimental favorite that year, Helen Mays of Airport. She and Altman also collaborated on the features Brewster McCloud, 1970, The Player, 1992, and Predator, 1994, and on an episode of Gun, an ABC anthology series that he executive produced. Kellerman, though, squandered another opportunity to work with the famed director. After she had a ill-fated rendezvous with Alan Arkin in the Neil Simon comedy Last of the Red Hot Lovers, directed by Gene Saks, Bob called me one day at home, she recalled in her 2013 memoir, Read My Lips, Stories of a Hollywood Life. Sally, do you want to be in my picture after next? He asked. Only if it's a good part, I said. He hung up on me. Bob was as stubborn and arrogant as I was at the time. But the sad thing is that I cheated myself out of working with someone I love so much, someone who made acting both fun and easy and who trusted his actors. Stars would line up to work for nothing for Bob Altman. She added, Oh, and the Altman film I turned down, Nashville, in that part I would have been able to sing. Bad choice. Sally Claire Kellerman was born on June 2nd, 1937, in Long Beach, California. Her mother was a piano teacher and her father an executive of Shell Oil. I came out of the womb singing and acting, she said. While attending Hollywood High School, Kellerman starred in a production of Meet Me in St. Louis and submitted a demo to Jazz and pursuer Norman Grant. Also goes on to say he offered her a recording contract at Verve, but just 18, she turned it down. Geez, nowadays, 18-year-olds can be available all over.
Wow.
Say, I was young and scared at the time. I had very little self-esteem, and I had already started this acting class. This class taught by Jeff Corey really gave me the chance to grow up. Classmates included Jack Nicholson, James Corbin, and Robert Blake. In 1957, Kellerman made her film debut in Samuel Zarkov crime drama Reformed Schoolgirl and appeared regularly on television in several plays, including The Marriage Go Around and Call Me by My Rightful Name. She had a role in a 1966 stage production of Truman Capote's Breakfast at Tiffany's, starring Richard Chamberlain and Mary Tyler Moore. But the show was closed in previews before it made it to Broadway when producer David Merrick said he did not want to subject the drama critics and the public to an excruciatingly boring evening. Still, all of her experience to that point emboldened her as she auditioned for Altman. Before MASH, I was ready to take any kind of chance, Kellerman said. I went out for the Lieutenant Dish part, which was bigger, but I happened to be wearing lipstick. And while I was talking a mile a minute, producer Ingo Reminger, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, kept muttering in his German accent, "Hot lips." Altman yelled, "Hot lips too." Okay, so goes on to say the film and Hooker's novel, of course, also inspired the CBS series MASH, which ran from 1972 to 83. Nearly all the characters from the movie were recast, including Hot Lips, portrayed on TV by Loretta Swit, who won 2 Emmys and was nominated for her work on 10 of the show's 11 seasons. Berghoff did reprise his role as Walter Radar O'Reilly. Altman said that he disliked the show because it was the opposite of my main reason for making the film. And this was to talk about a foreign war, an Asian war, and that was going on at the time. And to perpetuate that every Sunday night, and no matter what platitudes they say about their little messages and everything, the basic image and message is that the brown people with the narrow eyes are the enemy. And so I think the series was quite a racist thing. Kellerman's film resume also includes The Boston Strangler, 1968, The April Fools, 1969, Slither, 1973, opposite James Caan and Charles Jarrott directed Lost Horizon 1973, Welcome to LA 1976, with Harvey Keitel and Sissy Spacek, The Big Bus 1976, Foxes 1980, Blake Edwards, That's Life 1986, All's Fair 1989, and The Boynton Beach Club 2006. It says on CBS soap opera The Young and the Restless, she played Constance Brenham, an elderly confined to a wheelchair, and landed a Daytime Emmy nomination in 2015. Kellerman eventually did pursue a singing career, and in 1972 released her first album, Roll with the Villain. I love acting, but my fantasy is to love a couple of babies and make an album a year and maybe a picture a year too, she said in 1973. I don't want to do either one. Not do either one, sorry. So basically goes on to talk about the rest of her career. It was a very long career. Another great entertainer is lost. One we won't see again, unfortunately. And
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what else do you say? She had a long career, and it was a successful career. Let me take a swig of water here. And
Use your words.
I would if they would come to me. All right. Bone says, gotta go. See y'all later. Bone, thank you very much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. And let's see. Low Spec says, best TV show ever. Yes, and the movie's good too. If you've ever watched the movie, yes, watch the MASH movie and the entire series.
No, I don't think I've seen the movie.
I have.
I know I haven't.
And the Padawan
Seen the
says,
series,
another
my
icon.
dad used to watch it. Oh, go ahead.
No, that's okay, brother. You know my rule.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, my
Cool,
dad
calm,
watched
and
it.
relaxed. Yeah, I mean, that's how I started watching it because of my parents.
Yep.
And I would even watch the reruns.
Yeah, it's
And
been a
I don't
minute
want to
since
be
I've seen it,
says, yeah, says another icon these next 20 years are going to be tough. Yeah.
Well, but
And
I think that kind of just brings up the state of Hollywood, is that there are so many actors and actresses that we all grew up with that are iconic. And, like when Sean Connery passed, I mean,
yeah,
that one hurt. I mean, that one really hurt because I love. I mean, the first roles I ever saw him in was as Bond, James Bond.
well, of
That
course, he's the
and
original Bond.
he's the original Bond. He's the OG. He's the best Bond. And yes, I will fight people on
Yep.
that. He is the best Bond. Anyone else who says he is second, nope, 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 nope. You need to be kicked off this planet. He is number one. He is OG. And then Hunt for the Red October.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in so many Highlander. He's been in so many amazing movies over the years. Indiana Jones and whatnot. So, we will never get another Sean Connery. There is no there's no actor right now, male actor, that even comes close to Sean Connery.
Okay.
That
I don't know. Liam Neeson is pretty damn close, bruh. Liam Neeson is.
But he's been in this for a long time though. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the newer. I'm going from like 2010 till now, over the past 12 years.
You talk about like another one.
Yeah. Liam Neeson is in that group. I'd throw like you have like Sean Connery, Eddie Murphy, those like like for me, people who I saw in the movies from the 80s and the 90s, like those movies,
the golden age,
Yes.
So Liam Neeson's in that role, is in that category.
Sean Connery, I call ours the silver age, because I mean Sean Connery back then, that'd be the golden age. Like when he was younger, when he was Vaughn, all those great actors and actresses in that time period. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and you have some good actors. I'm not gonna lie. You have Idris Elba. I love Idris Elba. I think he's an amazing actor. Personally, he's done.
But they're all actors over
roles.
They're like older ones. There's maybe like a great younger actor, like say 35 to say 45 right now. Like there's not that many I can think of.
I can't think of any off the top of my head right now.
Yeah,
I mean Joaquin Phoenix, he's pretty badass.
Yeah, you got.
Chris Pratt. I mean, he can be impressive.
Chris Pratt, I say stands out from the normal Hollywood crowd, because he's done such a variety of style movies. Like he's been all over the place when it comes to the movies, and I think he does a lot of his roles very well. And the thing is that you do have a few standouts. Like I said, I think Idris Elba and Chris Pratt are two that stand out from the bunch. Even though Idris Elba's, I think,
Joaquin
like 50.
Phoenix?
I'm not as familiar with all of his works, so I'm not gonna speak to Joaquin Phoenix. I'm not knocking him. I'm just not familiar with as many of the movies he's done. So that's why I'm not speaking to him specifically.
So first off, he was the asshole on Gladiator. That's where I first was it. Movie.
That's Joaquin Phoenix?
Yes, he was Camillus. Then I hated the actor's face. He was so good in that movie at being bad that I hated the actor's face. And then the movie that made me start liking Joaquin Phoenix was fucking Signs, because I was like, damn, it's the nerd. I blame Joaquin. And then he did Joker. I'm like, bruh, you're God tier in acting. Okay, you are God tier. Okay,
I mean, there's no question that he's a great actor.
Yeah,
no question at all. I mean,
he's a great actor. But I'm saying like an iconic, legendary actor. Like, I mean, honestly, I'm throwing Tom Cruise in that, because Tom Cruise has done some. Tom Cruise, he's done so many amazing movies over the
Okay,
years.
wait.
And yeah, he's had some
How
ones
far-
that weren't as good, but
How far back are we going? Because if you're bringing in Tom Cruise, that means you're in Denzel Washington territory. The GOAT.
Denzel Washington, yep, Denzel
The
Washington.
fucking GOAT.
Yeah, Denzel Washington is no, like again, like I said, go from 2010. So any actors or actresses that really came to prominence about 2010 till now. So over the past 12 years. Don't go before then because because Chris Pratt started before 2010. He was in The Office. He was in Wanted. Those
but
are
he wasn't
movies that
taken
came.
seriously.
That's right. No, well, I know, but what I'm saying is that but that's when I noticed him was starting before 2010. So, because in the 2000s you had actors and actresses that's when they started. I'm talking actors and actresses that started at 2010 and after that. I'm just like, you're not really standing out to me in terms of like, I don't see you going the distance and carrying this legendary status that we have with various actors and actresses from like the 60s and 70s and the 80s.
That's because a lot of the actors that we have now can't go that far, in my opinion.
Right?
Yeah.
But I'm sure you all know this next guy I'm going to talk about, especially if you've seen him in a Western.
This man.
That's right. I'm talking about Sam Elliott, and I am doing a Sam Elliott impression.
Sam Elliott is another GOAT, okay?
He is.
Him in Tombstone, him in Gettysburg. Oh my God, him in Gettysburg is General Buford. Ah.
Oh, he is amazing in Gettysburg.
Well, I got this here article from Vanity Fair. It's talking about Sam Elliott. And now I'll talk in my normal voice. It says there's at least one cowboy who doesn't wish to cross paths with Bronco Henry. That would be frequent Western headliner Sam Elliott, who made his many feelings about the power of the dog known on a recent episode of WTF with Mark Maron. It all began when comedian Mark Maron asked Elliott if he'd seen the film, which was recently nominated for a field-leading 12 Oscars. Elliott replied, and I am going to say this in a Sam Elliott-like voice. You want to talk? Okay. Get my laughs out. I gotta get my laughs out. You want to talk about that piece of shit?
I mean,
and you know, I can hear Sam freaking Elliott saying that. Elliott says his issues. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
You guys haven't you guys seen The Ranch, the Netflix series?
No.
I watched a little bit of it.
It's okay. So it had so it's got Ashton Kutcher, Sam Elliott, and then who was the guy from that 70s show who got like Me Too'd?
Danny, is it Danny Masterson?
Danny, yeah, he was on it for the first 2 seasons as well, and then out of the blue, like all these Me Too allegations came out, and then once he left the show, like within like a few months, they all just disappeared, like and everything. Sam Elliott in that show is you probably know this one. So I noticed that your health isn't looking too good. What do you do? What do you do to de-stress? Drink whiskey. Well, what do you do when you're hungry? Eat steak. Okay, well, what do you do when you want to relax? Eat steak and drink whiskey.
But imagine him actually saying it. Freaking awesome.
It's yeah, but he's in that show and it's so funny and him in that show because he's got that line when Ashton Kutcher Sam Elliott pulls out a box of almond milk. He says, "What the fuck is this?" And Ashton Kutcher's like, "It's almond milk. Show me." Show me the teat on an almond. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I
Show me
remember
it.
that line. I remember that.
And the look on
Oh my god.
because Sam Elliott just woke up. It's like 4 a.m. because he's like a cattle rancher. So he raises cows, and just seeing Sam Elliott just like in this dead tired look with this like, what am I what am I having to experience as he holds up a box of almond milk?
Oh man, I remember that freaking
It
episode.
was, God, I was crying. I was crying, laughing for about 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, that I think I
Oh
nearly died.
God.
Show me the pity on an
Yeah.
almond. I remember
Yeah.
that.
All right. So the article goes on to say, Elliot says his issues with the power of the dog could be summarized by a full-page ad in the Los Angeles Times with the blurb, which talked about the evisceration of the American myth. He continued, I thought, what the fuck? What the fuck? This is the guy that's done Westerns forever. The evisceration of the American West. They look like, what are all those dancers? Those guys in New York that wear bow ties and not much else. Remember them from back in the day? Chippendale dancers. Moron pointed out. I mean, Marin. I don't know why I said moron. It says, that's what all these fucking cowboys in the movie look like, Elliot replied. They're all running around in chaps and no shirts. There's all these allusions of homosexuality throughout the fucking movie, Marin replied. Yeah, I think that's what I think that's what the movie's about. Benedict Cumberbatch's character, Phil Burbank, is a closet homosexual man. Goes on to say the Oscar nominee then directed his criticism at the film's writer-director, Jane Champion, who is up for 3 Academy Awards at this year's show. Goes on to say Jane Champion's a brilliant director, by the way. I love her work. Previous work, Elliot began. But what the fuck does this woman from down there in New Zealand know about the American West? And why in the fuck does she shoot this movie in New Zealand and call it Montana and say this is the way it was? So that fucking rubbed me the wrong way. Well, I mean, God, Sam Elliott's a legend when it comes to Westerns.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
Damn, if anyone knows, it's him. And if you don't like his stance, well, guess what? That's his opinion. That's his stance. At least you know where he comes from.
Oh yeah.
Article goes on to say the day after the interview went live, Netflix tweeted a scene from the movie sharing a screenshot in which Cody Smith McPhee's character tells his mother, played by Kristen Dunst, he's just a man, only another man. Goes on to say Elliot's other gripes with the movie include Cumberbatch's over-reliance on legwear. I mean, Cumberbatch never got out of his fucking chaps, he told Marin. He had 2 pairs of chaps, a woolly pair and a leather pair. And every fucking time he would walk in from somewhere, he never was on a horse. Maybe once he'd walk into the fucking house, storm up the fucking stairs, go lay in bed in his chaps and play his banjo. It's like, what the fuck? And it goes on to say Marin managed to get Elliot off his high horse, but not before Elliot reiterated, where's the Western in this Western? I took it fucking personal, pal. That much has become very clear, partner. I mean, really,
Lord.
I mean, and I'm reading it as He's saying it because, well, it's his words. So I'm using his words. These aren't my words. These are his words.
I think those are all of our words, buddy. All of our
Yeah.
words.
It's why I put the disclaimer before the video, the warning and disclaimer.
It's like, what the hell is going on? What in the hell? He should send them to Jesus.
Yes, he should. All right, so we got Futurama news.
Oh yeah, I heard that news.
Yeah. You can all bite my shiny metal ass.
They did.
That's right.
They did.
John DiMaggio is coming back to voice Bender. He's back, baby.
Yeah, but come on, come on. I'm not falling for it. I'm not being happy. You cannot make Futurama in modern Hollywood. You can't do it.
I'm not saying I'm going to be watching. I'm just talking about it because
I was almost
show
hyped
that we loved.
Yeah, I was almost hyped. I go, wait a minute, this is modern day Hollywood, huh? Yeah, this isn't 90s Hollywood. This shit's going. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no no no. Oh no 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 no
no no no no no no.
Yeah. So I have no hopes and visions of this being good. Nope. Not falling for it.
I'm not saying I do. I'm just talking about it because Futurama at one point was popular, and then Fox cancels it. Then they release the straight to DVD movies, bring it back, cancel it again, and now Disney's bringing it back again.
This is the show that doesn't end. Yes, it does not end on my friend. Oh God.
Yeah, it does. It just keeps going on and on. Except we don't have lamb chop in this.
I think it's gonna die this time though, because they're gonna Disney it up.
Yeah. So it says Futurama voice actor John DiMaggio has officially signed on to the Hulu revival of the beloved animated sci-fi comedy series, bringing the long and bitter saga known as Bendergate to a close. I'm back, baby. So damn grateful for the love and support of fans and colleagues alike during this whole time, especially my wife, Kate. And I cannot wait to get back to work with my Futurama family, DiMaggio said in his statement. Bendergate is officially over, so put it on the back of a shelf behind Xmas decorations, or maybe in that kitchen drawer with all the other crap you put in there, like the old unusable crazy glue, or maybe even put it in a jar you serve you say farts in. Whatever floats your boat, I don't care. Get the picture? I'm back, baby. Bite my shiny metal ass. And as I'm reading that, I can hear him saying that as Bender. Goes on to say, when the revival was announced in February, fans, and another stupid ad, fans were dismayed when DiMaggio's name was not among the list of returning original cast members. DiMaggio thanked the fans for their support, later stating that he felt that he and the rest of the cast deserved to be paid more than what was offered to come back for the show.
Where the fuck?
Original series cast members Billy West, Katie Seagal, Tress McNeil, Maurice LaMarche, Lauren Tom, Phil Lamar, and David Herman are all also returning. From that moment, John DiMaggio auditioned last century. We knew we had we knew we had our Bender, series creator Matt Groening said. So congrats to everyone at Futurama. We're all back, baby. John DiMaggio may be a great robot, but he's also a great human being. Futurama executive producer David X. Cohen added, not many people or machines can say that. For the fourth time, it's a once-in-a-lifetime thrill to be back with our entire original cast and phenomenal animators of Rough Draft Studios. Hulu has picked up 20 episodes of the new iteration of Futurama, which hails from Groening and Cohen. Production is underway, and the show is expected to debut in 2023. 20th Television Animation is producing Futurama with Rough Draft Studios Inc. contributing the animation. Futurama focuses on the life of Philip J. Fry, a 25-year-old pizza delivery boy who accidentally freezes himself in on December 31st, 1999, wakes up 1,000 years later with a fresh start at life and a new group of friends, including Leela, a tough, but we all know. I don't need to read the description of the characters, but yeah, the show gained popularity again on Adult Swim, and then Sci-Fi Channel brought it back, and then it was canceled again, and now Disney, because reasons, they bring it back again. All right, so we've got 3 more articles. First one will be about Peacock picking up a Twisted Metal live action series.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it does. The games are good, but this idea sounds terrible. This comes from Bounding in the Comics. It's by Ryan Pearson. It was posted yesterday. And it says Peacock picks up Twisted Metal live action comedy series from Deadpool and Zombieland writers. Even if it's comedy, it doesn't mean it's going to be good because it's based on a video game. The live action Twisted Metal comedy television series, written by the pair behind Deadpool and Zombieland, and set to star Anthony Mackie, will officially make its debut on Peacock. According to a report from The Verge, the Twisted Metal series will debut on Peacock NBC Universal streaming service. Officially listed under comedy, we expect a dark comedy. Each live-action episode will run for 30 minutes. Twisted Metal,
I got a bad feeling about this.
You and me both. Twisted Metal, a half-hour live-action TV series based on the classic PlayStation game series, is a high-octane action comedy based on an original take by Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick about a motor-mouth outsider offered a chance at a better life, but only if he can successfully deliver a mysterious package across a post-apocalyptic wasteland. That word's always tripped me up for some reason. Reads an official series synopsis provided to the tech news outlet Sweet Tooth, though technically Sweet Tooth is the ice cream truck. Goes on to say, with the help of a trigger-happy car thief, he'll face savage marauders, driving vehicles of destruction, and other dangers of the open road, including deranged clown who drives an all-too-familiar ice cream truck. It concludes teasing an appearance by the series psychotic clown mascot Needles Kane and his ice cream truck Sweet Tooth. I'd rather just play the games, to be honest. Previously reported in February 2021 that the series would be developed by Sony Pictures Television and PlayStation Productions, with Reese and Paul Wernick penning the script for the action comedy. Cobra Kai writer Michael Jonathan Smith was also announced as a producer alongside Lego Batman star Will Arnett. Well, even with those names attached, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be good. I know I sound pessimistic. It's because I am.
Oh, I'm right there with you, but I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, that just means it's possible it won't suck. Possible. Yeah. Unlikely, but possible.
And it says Twisted Metal is one of the most beloved franchises from PlayStation. Head of PlayStation Productions, Assad Quizabosh. I probably butchered that last name, and I do apologize. total variety at the time of the series reveal. We are thrilled to have such a great team working on bringing this iconic game to life for the fans. It says, "We love Twisted Metal and all its twisted insanity," stated executive VP of comedy development for Sony Pictures Television, Glenn Edelman. Says Michael Jonathan Smith hit it out of the park with an action packed, brilliantly funny adaptation. We are grateful for the support of Rhett, Paul, Will Arnett, executive producer, and our friends at PlayStation. In February 2022, sources told Deadline that the live action series would star the Falcon and Winter Soldier lead Anthony Mackie as the fast talking, smart aleck amnesiac known only as John Doe. Goes on to say, for those unfamiliar, the Twisted Metal series began in the 1990s and tasked players with driving around arenas in armored vehicles, picking up weapons, and attempting to obliterate other drivers. The series grew increasingly darker and more supernatural with each entry as the game master Calypso promised to grant the winning driver any wish they desired. Eventually involved changes to reality itself. Some games saw these wishes play out like a deal with the devil or a monkey's paw. And goes on to say that John Doe is also a character from the games. In 2001's Twisted Metal Black, Doe enters the Twisted Metal competition to learn who he is. Should he win, his ending reveals that he was an undercover FBI agent sent to stop a bomb being detonated at a Center for Disease Control building. The explosion knocked him out, and as he regains his memory, he remembers Calypso is also on FBI's wanted list. So, goes on to say, it should be noted that continuity between the games rarely considered any one particular character's campaign ending as canon, and those who are shown dying are usually seen again in subsequent entries. Nonetheless, John Doe in Twisted Metal Lost is implied to be one of many John Does, all of whom are FBI agents who have been ordered to stop Calypso and Twisted Metal contest. Goes on to say the last mainline game was in 2012 on the PlayStation 3. That same year, a film was announced set to be written by Ghost Rider director Brian Taylor. However, production on the project was ultimately halted. In a later interview with Collider, Taylor explained the film's collapse. It became like a tweener. Sony came out with a new version of the game, didn't really sell that well, so they had this property that was kind of like this tweener. And doesn't really go on to say much more after that. But yeah, I don't know. Even with Anthony Mackie in it, it still doesn't make me want to go see it because it's based on a game.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion, though.
I definitely do not hold a lot of hope for video game adaptations.
Neither do I. And we've got 2 more articles to get through for tonight before we call it a night. And TKO.
Stop.
I hope you're ready for battle. I really do. I really do, because you're gonna need it. I know I've already played this earlier, but you can never get tired of it. To be perfectly honest.
Am I really seeing that headline?
Wait, what? What am I?
He said, "Today is a good day to die."
Or maybe this
Are
is
you
more
out of
appropriate.
your fucking mind?
Maybe this is more appropriate because this is what we'd want to do. I mean, yeah, I know it's different franchise, but what the
The
hell?
time has come. Execute Order 66.
I agree.
All right, this comes from Screen Rant, and it was posted a day ago. And it says, why the Star Trek reboot cast is better than the original series.
What blasphemy is this?
It's bullshit. In my opinion, it's bullshit.
Bruh, you're confusing your opinion with facts.
I ain't confusing anything. They have
Yes,
just
you said-
declared war. They have
You said-
declared war on the Empire.
You said in your opinion. Okay, which your opinion is, it happens to be facts, so you confused facts with opinion.
Whatever.
You meant to say the fact is. That's what you meant to say. Facts.
Whatever.
Facts.
Just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts. Book them, Daniel.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, I'm going to book them. J.J. Abrams' Star Trek reboot saw the franchise's characters recast for the Kelvin timeline, and it's actually an improvement on the original series. Bull fucking shit.
Bullshit!
Bullshit.
Yeah, I need to take a hit of something too after hearing that bullshit.
I know pop culture. I know they're garbage, but I saw this today, and I wanted to rant about it.
And you just had to make it our problem too, didn't you?
Well,
he's like, I saw this today, and I'm about to make it your problem.
well, if I'm gonna go into battle, I'm gonna go into battle with my friends.
Wow. Just wow.
The article says, with J.J. Abrams' Star Trek reboot came a new host of actors, and the Kelvin Timeline's cast is actually better than that of Star Trek the original series.
Nope.
Nope.
Celebrated as a pioneer of modern sci-fi, Star Trek the original series challenged the conventions of its day, proving itself a groundbreaking piece of television in the process. Its cast of characters became as iconic as the show itself, and their lasting impression on pop culture cannot be understated. That's because of the actors who were in it. The actors who you're saying that JJ's reboot actors are better. No. When it comes to Captain Kirk, I think of William Shatner. When it comes to Spock, Leonard Nimoy. Bones, DeForest Kelly. Uhura, Nichelle Nichols. Sulu, George Takei. Chekhov, Walter Koenig. Nurse Chapel, Majel Barrett. Yeoman Rand, Grace Lee Whitney. I can go on and on.
Indeed.
However, by the time Star Trek was given its first movie franchise, its actors were aging. Oh, no shit. That's what we all do. The resulting films vary in quality, but they continued the franchise and kept the fans' interest in Star Trek alive, eventually paving way for new shows with new casts. However, in 2009, J.J. Abrams rebooted Star Trek, bringing the story of Captain Kirk and the crew of the Enterprise to life for a younger and wider audience. They just dumbed it down, and there's one scene in 2009 of many scenes, not just one particular scene, but among many. But I'm just picking this one out. When they're doing the Kobayashi Maru test and Kirk is eating the apple, and you see the D7 battle cruisers, and Kirk is doing, the finger point like it's a gun and going,
Oh, yeah.
oh, come on.
Yeah, that was cringe.
It's like, I don't care that it's a young Kirk. Kirk wouldn't do that.
No, he just sat there with a shit-eating grin on his face.
Yeah, because he knew he cheated on the test. But he got a commendation for it for original thinking. Anyways, it says, naturally, with its new timeline, the Star Trek reboot got a new cast. The cast was made up of younger stars, including a number of A-listers and celebrated character actors that rekindled audiences' interest in the franchise. In many ways, these new cast members are actually better for Star Trek and its characters than the original series cast was. The only actor who even came remotely close to portraying the character the way the character is supposed to be portrayed was Carl Urban as
Mm-hmm.
Bones. Come on.
Yeah, he put yeah. Yeah.
He was the one who did the most honor to the character that he was originally portraying.
Yes.
The second, the one I would say that was a second would be Zachary Quinto as Spock, if I have to choose a 1 and a 2.
Yeah, closer.
Because here's the thing, Zoe Zeldana, I think her name is, she was not Uhura. I'm sorry,
No.
There's no way she could ever be Uhura. Everyone else didn't. It didn't remind me. It didn't give me that feeling of OG Trek characters. It just didn't. Those were the only two actors I feel.
Chekhov was pretty close.
Chekhov was yeah, he was close, but I think Zachary Quinto edges him out just a little, and that's just my opinion. Okay, so if you think that Chekhov was portrayed better and whatnot, hey, you're entitled to your opinion. I just think Zachary Quinto did a pretty good interpretation of a younger Spock.
Yeah.
So
the article continues by saying, in the roles of 3 of Star Trek's main characters, Abrams secured Chris Pine, Zoe Zandala, and Carl Urban for Captain James T. Kirk, Lieutenant Nyota Uhura, and Dr. Leonard Bones McCoy, respectively. At the time of their casting, Pine, Zaldana, and Urban were 3 of Hollywood's most recognizable 2000 stars, with each of them having some experience in action movies to boot. This made their prominence all the more perfect for the reboot, as it lent an added credibility to the talent of Star Trek's new stars. Goes on to say, the limited acting range of the original. Whoa. The limited acting range?
Of who?
What the Shatner.
Well, I mean, at the time, yeah, he evolved. He got better over time. But yeah, I mean, he was a little bit
Spock, are you listening to what this asshole is writing about us?
Happening here?
Captain, I have no clue. Let me see this. What in the unholy fuck is this? Spock, I know. It is such a desecration of our roles.
But remember, William Shatner is a Shakespearean actor.
In movies, he was better. Much better in the movies.
William Shatner has been in so many other stuff aside from Star Trek. Star Trek is really what catapulted Shatner's name, him as an actor, him as an icon. Star Trek is what catapulted him. But he's been in many. I mean, do you want to know another great movie that William Shatner's in? And you're gonna think I'm crazy for this? Miss Congeniality.
No, he's good.
Yeah, I remember that.
He's great in that movie. He's like, I don't own a gun.
He's older in that movie.
My family was Quaker.
Okay, yeah, he's also older in that movie. When he was younger, he was it was ridiculous. Okay,
it's like I mean, it's just it's one of those things where, again, these people are saying this with such an ignorance. Okay, Leonard Nimoy has been in other stuff. Walter Cohen has been in other stuff. What's his face? Sulu has been in other stuff. Okay, I don't know if DeForest Kelly was. And I don't know if was it Michelle Nichols. I don't know if she has been in other stuff, but most of these actors have been in other stuff as well. You know, Star Trek was for a lot of them what catapulted them into their acting gigs, into their acting roles
Mm-hmm.
that they used in other stuff. Okay, that would be like saying, okay, because remember they even said Chris Pine and a lot of these others had already been in several movies already, so they had a certain level of notoriety and prominence. A lot of the OG characters did not have those actors did not have that luxury when they did Star Trek. They didn't have all these other major roles that they were in, and then they got casted into Star Trek. That didn't happen.
Nope.
Unless I'm wrong. If somebody in the chat or somebody in the panel here can prove me wrong, I will gladly eat my own words. But that is, to my knowledge, Star Trek was the thing that catapulted them.
Pop
Yeah,
culture
pretty
mechanic
much.
brings up the fact that DeForest Kelly was in Hollywood starting in 1940.
Mm-hmm. This just pisses me off so much because it's like, as somebody who, I mean, again, when William Shatner went up up into space on that capsule, I
Mm-hmm.
remember I posted on TikTok. I said Captain Kirk has finally made it into space.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like I was so ecstatic. A lot of people
I was
probably
happy
couldn't have
for him.
cared. Oh, I was so happy because I know William Shatner's always wanted to go into space. I've heard him make comments about that in the past. And then seeing the living legend known as, Captain Kirk, the role he portrayed, seeing William Shatner going into space, it's like Captain Kirk is finally in space. It was a very, like, I mean, it probably shouldn't have been as deep for me as it was, but it was because it was finally seeing an actor who I have so much respect for, who keeps his nose clean, who stays out of politics and whatnot. Okay, I remember when he blocked Doomcock off of off of his Twitter, and then and then somebody through like back channels was tweeting back and forth with Shatner, and Shatner said, I have like a horse farm, like a profit for like horse farms and everything like that. If you can raise $5,000 in, like, I forget what time frame it was, I'll do that and everything. And so Doomcock, and this is all on a live stream. I remember this because I donated to this. I donated $5 to it, and Doomcock's, rallied his troops, and he got that. He way surpassed that minimum donation mark that William Shatner set and everything. And William Shatner could have just said nope, but William Shatner said, all right, you know what? You want me to, I'll meet you in the middle. You donate to to this charity that I help with, that I started and everything, and we could be on speaking terms again and whatnot. You know what? That's a class act, because do you know why? Shatner didn't have to do that. He could have been a total jerk, but he's like, you know what? You do some good by helping out this charity, and I'll unblock you, and I'll reaccept you and everything on Twitter and whatnot. I mean, to me, that's a classy dude, because he didn't make
Mm-hmm.
a big beef out of it. He didn't. He just said, you do some good in this area, and we're squared.
Wait, what did Doomcock do again to piss him off?
I don't know if it was Doomcock. I forget what this is, like 2 years ago. This is like 2.5 years ago.
I mean, I find it difficult to think of Doomcock.
I don't think
being,
it was Doomcock that pissed him off. I forget the exact circumstances. I just remember Doomcock was blocked from William Shatner's Twitter.
Huh.
And I don't remember the reason why. But like I said, this is like over 2 years ago, I want to say. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, William Shatner, when he went into space, I was so happy for him and everything. I remember Leonard Nimoy's, I think it was his daughter. his daughter or his granddaughter tweeted out like how Leonard Nimoy would be so happy to see his best friend finally making it into space and whatnot. It's like,
Mhm.
there's no way I could ever say that about Chris Pine. I could never look at Chris Pine and say, you're Captain Kirk. I look at Chris Pine and say, you've been in action movies. I can't look at Chris Pine and say, you are Captain Kirk.
Agreed.
No. And the article continues by saying the limited acting range of original Kirk William Shatner had long since become the butt of many Star Trek jokes. However, with 3 major stars in key roles, Abrams' Star Trek reboot was immediately in good stead with fans. I didn't even know who any of them were.
Me neither.
I mean, I know who Carl Urban was. Well, I knew who Carl Urban was. And I knew Chris Pine. I had heard the name before. And obviously, who was it who played Scotty again? I know the name. It's just escaping.
Oh yeah, the guy from
Simon Pegg.
Yeah. Simon Pegg. You know, I obviously knew who Simon Pegg was. Yeah. So there you go, Simon Pegg. So I knew who Simon Pegg, Carl Urban were because I'd seen them in other movies. And then Zoe Saldana. I don't know. I think I knew the name, but I didn't remember what stuff. So it's like only 2 of them were I recognized. Everyone else was I had heard of them or maybe seen them in like a commercial or something like that, but they were nobodies to me.
I mean, I knew who Chris Pine's father was. Robert Pine. He was a sergeant in Chips.
I did not know that actually.
Who?
Yes.
Whose father?
Pine was Chris Pine's father. Robert Pine was the sergeant in Chips.
Oh wow!
Yeah, you learn something new every day.
Yep, and it goes on to say that Pine was able to capture Kirk's original cool charm and subtle arrogance perfectly. No, he wasn't. The Kirk that we got in the JJ movies is nowhere near the Kirk that we got in the original series.
No,
it was an alternate reality Kirk. That's how I look at Chris Pine's take on Kirk. It was an alternate reality Kirk, a Kirk who, because remember the whole reason why he, as it was stated in Star Trek Into Darkness, my father joined Starfleet because he wanted to actually do some good and make his mark. I joined Starfleet on a dare. That sums up Kirk right there. He joined Starfleet on a dare, not because he wanted to follow in his father's footsteps, like Spock in the 09 movie said. Your father was your biggest inspiration for joining Starfleet.
Mm-hmm.
Because his father didn't die in the prime timeline. So I look at Chris Pine's Kirk as an alternate reality Kirk. This is not the standard Kirk that we know. This is a Kirk who never knew his father, joined Starfleet on a dare, so he never had that. He never had that proper upbringing and that proper maturity that comes with having his father in Starfleet and living alongside of him and learning the lessons and everything from him and seeing a true Starfleet officer in work. He never knew any of that. So, and again, we could talk about other stuff with that, but strictly, I mean, I'm honing in on Kirk because you could say all you want about the others, but Kirk is like the big name. Like he's the captain. You mess up Kirk, everything else falls to the wayside. Like, everything else is just screwed already. But if you got a good Kirk, everything else you can bring into line. Chris Pine was an alternate reality Kirk. He wasn't a proper Kirk, in my opinion.
No, he wasn't. Well, also this article calls, Kirk arrogant, by saying Kirk's subtle arrogance. Kirk wasn't arrogant. He was a thinking man.
Mm-hmm.
He was constantly thinking 10 steps ahead of the enemy. He had to. For the safety of the lives of his ship and crew. This article's bullshit.
Yeah, Balance of Terror, man. That was some of Kirk's best work.
Mm-hmm.
And hello to the
Yep.
Nerpoil life form. He says Chris Pine runs, yells, gets continually humiliated and undermined. He continues by saying Uhura shushes him and into darkness, shoehorning her in instead of McCoy. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
And then, I mean, the most Kirk we probably, the most I think Chris Pine ever truly fit into a Kirk-esque role was in the third one, Beyond. I feel like that's where we saw glimpses of the original Kirk there. Calculating, and everything, that little bit of boldness, trying to think steps ahead and everything. Like, I feel like in Beyond is where we finally start seeing tiny, like little flashes of the original Kirk out of Chris Pine. But again, it was only small flashes because this is the JJ verse. So
Yeah.
you're never going to get that. But I feel like that was the one where we really got to see Chris Pine with brief glimpses of an actual Kirk. Because remember, in the end of Beyond, when the Admirals tells him, do you still want the role? And then Kirk just kind of smirks, and then he just kind of shakes his head. He says, "No offense, ma'am, but where's the fun in that?" And in reference to sitting behind a desk versus sitting in a captain's chair. Like, that's something Kirk would say.
Nerpoil brings up a good fact here. He says, "Hi, Mike. Shatner is the ultimate Kirk, a thinking man, an intelligent man, doesn't get humiliated much, unless they are in a strange land, and he still retains control." Exactly.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
The only Kirk is a leader and the Star Trek captain. Kirk is the template
spoken
for every Star Trek captain. The only captain that even comes close to Kirk, well, he's got a pimp hand called the Defiant.
Yep. I was about to say.
Yep.
Picard is definitely nope. Janeway tries too hard.
Archer was not a bad captain.
No, yeah, Archer
was not bad. He was a good captain. He was a good captain.
Yeah. Especially under the circumstances. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially going into the Expanse there. Yeah.
I mean, it's like Starfleet is not even a thing yet. He's like, he's pioneering. Yeah.
He's literally coming up with it as with every light year. He's literally coming up with new stuff.
He's writing the book.
He has to. He's
writing the
book. Yeah, he's the Tolkien essentially of Starfleet in terms of exploration.
Sir, what does the manual say? I don't know. I haven't written it yet.
And Nerpoil brings up another great point. Shatner manages to defeat Khan twice. Pine gets his ass whooped by a fake Khan or John Harrison, with Spock beating him senseless.
Oh, yeah, huh?
Yep.
I totally forgot about that bullshit.
And Nerpoil also says, the Cisco, Picard lost my respect. Yeah, and I saw a clip from season 2 of Picard, and I'm sorry, Whoopi Goldberg does not remember how to portray Guinan.
Oh, they brought her back? Did she lose a couple tons? Please tell me she lost a couple tons.
Have you seen her? Have you seen photos of her on The View? No.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, these people wouldn't know Trek if they were indoctrinated with it 24/7, 365 days a year for a decade. They would still not understand Trek.
Well, they go on to say that Zendaya's or Zandalos, I just butchered it. I'm sorry. Zaldana's talent highlighted the importance of Uhura to the Star Trek franchise. Urban also perfectly captured the spirit of McCoy while still bringing his own talent to the role, making the three actors perfect choices to take over from Shatner, Nichols, and Kelly. And it goes on to say Anton Yelchin and Simon Pegg deliver more authentic accents than their predecessors. But guess what? Their predecessors are more memorable.
Indeed. Definitely. Definitely.
I mean, okay, generations when they see Sulu's daughter as helm of as at the helm of the Enterprise B, and then you hear Chekhov say, "I was never that young," and then Kirk just kind of like grabs him by the shoulder and everything, and just kind of like like brotherly, and just says, "No, you were younger." And then you just see like, and you see Chekhov with that big old smile, and you can see like he has that look in his eyes, and like he's just kind of like reminiscing of the old days, kind of, the good old
that
days
scene
and everything.
that scene did kind of hit me when he said that, because Chekhov was straight up a young buck back then.
He was the young buck of the group.
At least he didn't get it as bad as Harry did. I'm just saying. They did Harry wrong.
Harry never got promoted. 7 years in the
Seriously,
Delta Quadrant.
That was messed up. Harris fucked up, got promoted and promoted again. I'm like, really? You ain't gonna give him no love? I can't get over that. I just can't get over that. He did her boy Harry dirty.
Yeah, she did. And the article continues by saying, while Star Trek, the original series, was undoubtedly a huge leap forward for diverse representation in popular media, it wasn't without its issues. One of the major criticisms leveled at the original cast is its actors' accents, particularly those of Walter Koenig's Chekhov and James Doohan's Scotty. Well, I tell you what, you can take your opinion and shove it up your arse.
Indeed.
And give it all you got. Why you shove it up your arse? Because I'm giving you my opinion. I'm firing that damn torpedo.
Right.
All right. It says Doohan's reasonable approximation of a Scottish accent also contained elements of an Irish brogue, and Koenig's Russian accent has since caused much debate over its accuracy. Oh, give me a break.
Come on, okay. I don't know why you're so mad, because I was mad at first, then I went, wait a minute. What are they doing? They're doing what they always try to do. They try to tear down the old so that the new has a chance. And I'm like, oh god, they're doing it again. Whoa, so don't get mad.
All I'm gonna say, because I'm not gonna read the rest of this garbage. I'm not saying that this article is garbage. I'm saying that it should be hauled away as garbage.
Agreed. The patheticness of Hollywood trying to boast and prop up its pathetic attempts to indoctrinate. Just, I don't even. I can't just shake my head now. It's just like, oh, here we go again.
You guys want something to smile about? It is Star Trek related, but I think you'll like this headline.
I doubt you can tell me anything Star Trek related that's going to make me smile. But you're free to give it a go.
You might smile at this. It's from Bounding into Comics. It was released today on their website. It's by John F. Trent. It says, Star Trek fan launches petition to have Alex Kurtzman's Star Trek designated as non-canon.
I approve. I heavily approve of this message.
Yes. Make it so, number one. Make it so.
Mm-hmm.
I have posted the link to the article in the chat. It
Oh
says a
man.
Star Trek fan has launched a petition to have the live-action Star Trek shows created by producer Alex Kurtzman designated as non-canon.
I mean,
Star Trek,
does a petition need to be sent? It already is non-canon. I'm just saying.
and I'm posting the link to the petition too. I know people are allowed to like what they like, but you know what?
Honestly, the people that I've seen on like social media that defend Discovery, they are very much normies. They are not hardcore Star Trek fans. They are much more normie than anything else. And I'm sorry, normies have never been the sustaining force for Star Trek.
Normies have never been a sustaining
They have
force for much of
never.
anything.
I'd say for Star Wars, Star Wars was sustained by both normie and hardcore.
Yeah, that's
But
because
Star Trek,
That's because back then it was good. Current Star Wars is not being sustained by normies have walked away. Only the weirdos are really around, the sequel or trilogies. It's like, yeah, pretty much.
yeah, right now, yes, but I'm talking pre when the sequels started. Normie and hardcore could link arms and enjoy Star Wars together and both enjoy it together. Star Trek was never like you either liked Trek or you didn't. Star Trek had a smaller fan base compared to Star Wars. So it had a lot of hardcore fans. And then you had your casual watchers who were kind of normie, but not. Like they enjoyed watching it, but they weren't as like knowledgeable on a lot of stuff, but they just loved watching it.
The normies are not what kept Star Wars. Star Wars was the hardcore fans that went out and bought all the fucking merch, bought all the toys, all that shit.
That is what you know what kept the original Star Wars movies alive were the toys. That's what kept the series alive in the books.
Mm-hmm. The EU and the hardcore fans were following the EU, buying the books, buying all the merchandise and all that stuff. Like the normies don't really do that. They'll go watch the movie maybe once or twice, but they're not going to have all the posters, the T-shirts, the underwear, the Yoda sheets, or the Yoda blanket. I mean, not that I had that or anything. The Ewok blanket. Oh, I remember. No, I mean, I don't remember. No.
Is there something you want to tell the class?
C-3POs.
No, I'm good.
I remember one of our friends that we had when I was growing up, and I was, 5 years old at the time, but my friend's older brother, he had a Yoda mask on, and I wasn't expecting it, and that freaked the hell out of me.
Had a Yoda what?
He had a Yoda mask on. It was a Halloween mask.
Oh.
But I wasn't expecting to see him come out with that on, and I'm like, but again, I was 5 years old. But I remember
that'd freak you out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the article is Star Trek fan Anna G created the petition on change.org and declared, as you are probably aware, we have entered a new era of Star Trek, if one could call it that. New Trek or Star Trek Discovery and Picard, I'm not considering Lower Decks because it's meant to be a joke, blatantly disregard Gene Roddenberry's vision for a utopian moral and optimistic future. Moral, I meant to say. Goes on to say the petition would include a number of examples to prove their point from YouTuber Major Grin. Yes, I have watched his videos. Just saying. And one of his newest videos, it was an interview with Sonequa Martin Green on Entertainment Tonight. And the person that's interviewing her is heard saying that Sonequa Martin Green is the first Black woman to be a Starfleet captain, a Star Trek captain in the franchise history. And then Major Grand brings up a couple of examples. The captain of the Saratoga in Star Trek IV, the Voyage Home.
Yeah.
And even though she wasn't a Starfleet captain, she was a captain nonetheless, Cassidy Yates. And then he brings up the clip from the TNG episode where we see this actress who was the captain of the Saratoga in the Voyage Home. Well, she was also Geordi's mom in The Next Generation. I can't remember the name of the episode off the top of my head, but still. And also, in the episode Redemption, I think it was either part 1 or part 2, where you have the Starfleet admiral and she was black. So yeah, black women, black men, people of all races, creeds, and walks of life have been in a position of authority in Star Trek. Because 1966 to 2005 did it first and did it better.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing these people don't understand is it's all about virtue signaling now. It's not about the content. It's not. It's about how many points can I rack up with being, oh, I'm the first black captain of Starfleet. Okay, again, what difference does it make? I don't care if you're Middle Eastern, Hispanic, Black, Asian, Alaskan, lizard person. I don't care.
Oh, whoa.
Okay?
I do care if you're a lizard person, okay? We're fighting the lizard people, remember that?
Well, if they're the lizard person, they're Gorn.
That's not, never mind. Okay. Not the lizard people I was talking about.
Listen. By this time, I'm pretty sure we would be at peace with the lizard people, okay?
No, they'd be still trying to eat our faces.
True, but you never know.
I hear human faces taste good.
Wow. What? They're saying that we lost Alan Ladd Jr., the reason why Star Wars exists.
I didn't he pass like a couple of days ago, I think?
This is the first time hearing about it.
Same.
It might have been somebody else, but for some reason that name, I thought I saw that name a few days ago, but I could be wrong.
Oh, without him, we wouldn't have the original Star Wars or anything, really. I'll bring up some information on who he is, and I'll put it in the private chat.
Okay.
Instead of you waiting for me to explain it. I'll just copy the link to his IMDb page, and that will give you the whole gist. And I'm putting it in the private chat. I'll go ahead and put it in the regular chat too for anyone who's not familiar with who he is. But he's been behind a lot of good movies.
Okay, birds.
All right.
Are you ready to start an ARC adventure this weekend?
No, because I have a couple of live streams I'm going to be doing.
You know how many hours are this weekend? 48, to be exact.
Yes, but I've already said I will be on a live stream, or I have scheduled one for myself. So the article goes on to say the petition would include a number of examples to prove their point from YouTuber Major Grin Beginning with Star Trek Discovery, the petition states Star Trek Discovery portrays the principles upon which Star Trek was based. In the past, we've seen Kirk and Picard always offer a helping hand, even to those who would be considered enemies. And when they each had their own prejudices, Kirk's racism against Klingons for his son's death, and Picard's hatred for the Borg for his assimilation. They learned that hatred and violence were wrong. They both disregarded their own plots of revenge because in the future, humans are taught to resist prejudice and to honor life. As soon as this ad goes away, I will continue with the rest of the article. It says in Discovery, we see protagonists sadistically torture, call crew members who've died idiots, and belittle others who are below them in rank. The petition asserts, and yes, perfect example right here in this clip. I'm not going to play it here on the stream, but this is from season 3 of Star Trek Discovery.
Oh, God.
It says, turning to Star Trek Picard, the petition states, in Star Trek Picard, we see sexism in the name of female empowerment. We see addiction glorified, poverty present, and bigotry on behalf of Starfleet. It adds, yep. We also see disrespect for the dead. It continues, From there, the petition notes, and I haven't even touched upon Alex Kurtzman's eye torture fetish he keeps throwing in. Yep, each yep. Goes on to say, next it declares, and I haven't even gone over the blatant disregard for pre-established canon and the abysmal story writing. This man, Alex Kurtzman, and his work are a waste of our time. If you are a true Star Trek fan, you don't approve of this. You're gatekeeping. Yes, I am. Can you look at this new Star Trek and the examples I've given and say it aligns with Gene Roddenberry's vision? No, you can't. Don't even try, Anna G asserts. From there, Anna G makes it clear the petition will likely do nothing, but the hope is to send a message to Paramount and save the message of our franchise. Anna G writes, what will this petition do? Probably nothing. But if we get enough signatures, if we really blow this up, we can send a message that this is not the future we want or stand for. If we come together as a community and deny these works canonical status, we can save the message of our franchise. The petition continues.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
She then states Star Trek is supposed to be a beacon of hope. Now it's just like any other show, pointless violence and bigotry. Especially now, people need hope. People need Star Trek now more than ever because they need a reminder of what we can accomplish. They need a reminder of what humanity can become if we try, Anna G declares. It goes on. We are losing sight of that utopian future we need to get back to. We need to show that it's possible. We need to deny these new messages because they do not match our hope for the future. We need to deny people like Alex Kurtzman the right to tamper with our franchise and its vision. If anything, we need to make a statement, not to be dramatic, but that's how I feel about it. The petition concludes.
He almost sounded doomcocking in his writing.
Mm-hmm.
As of writing, the petition has received 46 signatures. That's just how, as of this writing. Well, you know what? Copy. And if you love
He said, you know what? And then disappeared. He went dark.
I'm saying on Twitter, If you love Star Trek and want to see it return to its former glory, sign this petition.
Yeah, it's not really going to have an effect. Look at what they did to Doctor Who. They drove Doctor Who into the ground. They drove Star Wars into the ground. As long as these nut jobs are in command in Hollywood, nothing is going to change. They will gladly run franchises into the ground. They apparently will gladly lose billions of dollars as long as they continue to keep trying to spread the message. And until control is ripped from their grubby little hands, nothing will change.
Yeah, but we can still speak out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, nothing speaks out more than keeping your wallet nice and closed.
Yeah, Major League Baseball is not going to get any of my money.
Shut up, you don't get my money, instead of shut up and take my money.
Yeah, very few things now. I am literally waving my wallet at a screen and just screaming, "Here, please, for the love of Almighty God, just take my money." There's very few things I do that with nowadays.
Exactly.
I mean, because whether it's movies, TV shows, even you could even say gaming, because of just certain franchises, not so much going the SJW route, but just like
quality's just been dropping.
media. Yeah, the quality has just been dropping and everything. So, to me, it's like the days of me just opening my wallet and just saying, "Please take it," are gone. Like now, it's like, okay, you got to give me a reason to want to open it back up again.
And guys, I'm sharing the screen. This petition, its goal is to reach 1,000 signatures. It currently has, and it's still going up, 961 signatures. Correction, 62 signatures, 963 signatures, 65 signatures.
Holy crap.
So I know I played it several times tonight, but I'm playing it again. Because it's appropriate.
Do it.
As far as Kurtzman's Trek is concerned,
this is
what. Oh, of course it is.
He said, "Today is a good day to die."
He said, "Today is a good day for Kurtzman Trek to die."
And just in the few moments of playing that clip, the petition is now at 971 signatures. It's almost to its goal.
Are you surprised?
No, I'm not surprised. It makes me smile.
Seriously, we need
smile.
how that signature would be well over it if we could get like Doomcock and Gary to just
how do we know they haven't already
out.
signed it? How do we know
no,
they
no,
haven't
no,
already
but
signed
I'm
it,
saying
though?
no,
I know
no,
you're
no,
saying
put out a
that
tweet.
you want them to put a tweet out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they might have signed it, but if they got decent sized followings, both of them on Twitter, and even if only a 10th of them, of each of their followings signed it, it'd be well over its goal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but
like I said,
for everybody who has signed it,
glory to you and your house.
Hey, it works.
I don't see it doing anything because people put up more of a stink over when they decanonized Star Wars or the EU. It's like, yeah, these companies don't give a shit as long as they can spread the message.
It's the principle. It's the principle of the matter that You have people who are disgusted with it that are willing to sign a petition to voice their displeasure.
Oh yeah, I know, but I'm just saying is people have we have been just voicing our displeasure for the last decade. It's like, okay, they know they don't give a shit. Oh, I'm even wondering if them getting us to do stuff like this, they're getting off on it. Look at them making little petitions that are probably, at this point. It's like, oh, stay angry, you're true fans. Ha ha, look how angry we made them. I'm like, yeah, I'm not giving them the pleasure.
Let them get angry because we're angry. We have a right to voice our displeasure. We have a right to voice our opinion when we think something's crap. We'll tell them it's crap. Why do you think movies are flopping?
Here's what I'm sorry, but me is not watching it, not buying it, not giving them no clicks, and they don't know. I'm like, no. They don't got me angry no more. I'm like, I'm not even angry no more. I'm just gonna shake my head and ignore you. Because you know what is worse than hate? Apathy. If someone's like an emotional nut job and they can keep poking at you and they keep getting emotional responses from you, they feed off that shit. But when you say, I don't even hate you, I don't even give a shit at all, I'm completely apathetic, that's what drives them nuts. Because then they go, you can't touch me. Your stuff will eventually die out. These IPs will be sold, eventually come into the hands of people who give a shit, and they will flourish again. These IPs are damn near timeless. As long as humanity is on this earth and humanity likes stories and telling stories, these IPs won't be dead. They may hibernate. They may go in their stasis pod for a while, but they're going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
They will be back. That's why I'm like, you know what? I'm just right now. I'm at the point where I'm just weathering the storm. I'll laugh, I'll cringe, and then I'll be like, you know what? It's only a matter of time. They cannot continue to hemorrhage money and hemorrhage followers, and at this rate, and still hold on to this stuff.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, these companies can hemorrhage money. They can hemorrhage followers because it's their own fault for doing so, for giving us a product that sucks.
Uh-huh.
I mean, and as we've seen with like Disney, especially when it comes to like just using Star Wars has not been a massive success. Like the Star Cruiser got ripped all over social media.
Yeah,
They lost a lot of bookings. If you look at the numbers for their Star Wars shows, they are not doing incredible. They aren't. They just flat out aren't. So there's gonna come a point where, and I don't know when that's gonna happen, but they're gonna have a come to Jesus moment. Now, when that happens, I cannot say, but it's gonna happen because at some point, because here's the thing, Star Wars right now, you've lost your hardcore fans. Your normie fans will watch the stuff, but again, how many of the normie fans will actually sit down to watch the stuff? And if all you're going to do is just play to normies, then you've lost a massive money base, because it's people like me that will go out, that will buy, the technical manuals for all the ships of all the Star Wars ships, where it breaks down all the ships, into like an engineering format, where I won't buy the Star Wars ships anymore. I might buy them off of eBay, because Disney ain't getting that money if I buy the ships off of eBay. They've already been bought. I'm just rebuying them,
We're GameStopping them.
So, yeah, basically. So, and that's the thing. It's like in Star Trek is not making money. It is not making money at all, because it's behind a paywall, which already limits your viewer base. Okay, now how much that viewer base is there solely for Star Trek? I would estimate less than 50% of their viewer base, probably closer to 20, maybe 30% is there for just Star Trek alone. I don't have a CBS All Access. I let that shit expire beginning of last year, because to me
I
it's
don't
like
have an account.
I hate watched it. I had it because I was doing those reviews like I've mentioned in the past. But that was the only reason why I had it, was so I could watch it to do the reviews. I didn't have it because I was so excited for the new Trek.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't have an account now, but I did have an account when I was reviewing season 3 of Discovery, and I was disgusted.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree.
Sad state of
I
affairs.
agree.
Yep. And Pop Culture Mechanic brings up a good point too. Stockholders eventually want to see a profit for their dividends. They have to
Yeah.
hold the
Mm-hmm.
CEOs accountable for not making good product. Yeah.
Yep. Because here's the thing, and and again, I'm using Star Wars because of the whole Galactic Star Cruiser thing. If you had made a Star Wars resort that had that gave you an amazing Star Wars feel and kind of a Star Wars experience, and you did it
Mhm.
well, then you'd get Star Wars fans from all over the known universe flocking there. But guess what? You don't have that. I have no desire to do the Galactic Star Cruiser. I have no desire to. Everyone I know thinks that it's way overpriced and it's probably not going to be worth the experience. Social media and YouTube are also ripping the Galactic Star Cruiser a new one as well. So tell me, how are you going to make money long term? Sure, in the short term, you'll probably make a decent amount of money because you will get those people that do want to go there. But long term, you're not going to get the profits that you thought you'd get from it because everything is so overpriced.
Yep.
Yep.
Even if you go to that higher end clientele, that higher end clientele is only going to go once and be like, "All right, I've done it. What's next?"
Yeah, I don't
They're
know.
not going to go there like, "I want to go again and again and again and again."
Yeah,
No,
these
they're going to
idiots,
move on to the next big thing.
their business plan is,
Mm-hmm.
to just milk the rich people. Say screw the middle class people who would come. They're like, where do they get this idea that they're not going to come at the value? The amount of people who have that kind of money to burn, their numbers are limited. They're going to get bored eventually.
If they're
Mm-hmm.
not
It makes no
already.
sense to me.
It's people like me in the middle class that sustained Disney for a long time. When
Yeah.
When Disney was cheaper, we went all the time. We went. Oh, I'm not even going to begin to say how much money I spent, my parents spent, my aunt and uncle spent, how much my brothers have spent at Disney over the years. And guess what? We are not very well off people. But do you know what? It was affordable enough to where we could go as pass holders, and we could literally go drive up for a day because it was within that time range in terms of driving where, okay, we drive up there, we're there for 5, 6, 7 hours, we kill part of a day, we get a meal, get a few drinks, boom, right there, we just spent money at Disney. And we would do that regularly. And there are many others who would do that too, but less and less people want to do stuff like that because you think that the higher end clientele are gonna be your big ticket item. That's not who Disney was originally for. Disney was originally about the Joe
Family.
Schmo, the guy
Yeah.
working 60 hours at the sawmill who would save up and take his family. And then they would tell all their friends, and all their friends would save up money and go. And they would spread the word, and they would keep spreading and spreading and spreading about how affordable it is, how everybody can go there and then get that taste of Disney magic.
Well, even Drunk 3PO was doing a stream the other day, and he was talking about Disney vloggers and how their Disney theme park days aren't getting the views that they used to. But when they go to another theme park that isn't Disney, they're getting the views because people are
Mm-hmm.
tired of Disney.
Yep.
Yep. I know for me, if I ever had to get a seasonal pass to any of the parks in Florida, I'd probably go Universal. Because
Yeah.
My
Universal,
sister,
even going peak pandemic, Universal treated their pass holders very well, very, very well.
my sister and I even said after we'd gone to Disney World, I mean, we enjoyed ourselves, but we said, we want to check out Universal next time we come to Orlando.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The only thing Disney I'll go to is like it's called Disney Springs. It used to be called Downtown Disney, but then it was like renamed Disney Springs. I'll go there, a couple times a year because you don't have to
Wait,
pay.
what, in
You
California?
just drive there. No, Disney Springs here in Florida.
Where is it at?
It's on Disney property.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, which state?
It's
In Anaheim, it's still called Downtown Disney.
Okay, that's what I was about to say.
yeah,
When did they
Downtown
rename it?
Disney. So in Florida, it was called. You had Downtown Disney and then Pleasure Island. Pleasure Island is like where the adult areas, a lot of the bars and dang clubs. Well, eventually they just kind of merged it all into one big thing. So now you have the bars, then you have some performance places, a lot of eateries and the shops. They merged everything into one big thing, and they renamed it Disney Springs.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah. So at one point it was called Downtown Disney, and by people and still people who knew of Downtown Disney before it was renamed still call it Downtown Disney. Like I do, and others I know who went to Downtown Disney before it was renamed here. We still call it Downtown Disney from time to time. So, but I'll go there maybe a handful of times a year at most. And it's only because it's a fun day, like you kill a day there kind of thing.
Yeah, I was going to
So
say that from the videos I've seen, they have a lot of stores. Yeah, some of them are okay. Maybe that's cutting it a little short. There are higher end stores, but
there
there
are,
are plenty.
yes.
There are plenty of restaurants that you can go to and get a bite to eat. You don't have to worry about going into a Disney park.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, it's a great way to kill part of a day. Like you can go do a little shopping. Raglan Road, it's like an Irish pub eatery place. Amazing food. They have live performers like every half hour, 45 minutes. The women will come out in those like Irish dancing outfits, and the men will come out like dressed up, and they'll do like a performance there for like 10 or 15 minutes. It's got a very much an Irish pub setting, amazing food. You got
Yep.
Morimoto's, Japanese American fusion restaurant. You got a whole bunch of places there. So that is the only Disney place I will ever recommend to people to do is if you never go to Disney parks, at least go to Downtown Disney because it is actually a fun place where you can kill part of a day or a whole day, depending on how much money you're willing to spend.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't always come down to that, huh?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, I think on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this particular edition of Pacific414 Pop Talk. I want to thank you both for coming on. Thank you, Patriot. Thank you, Chaos.
No worries.
Thanks for having me.
Not a problem. But I also want to take the time to say thank you to Pop Culture Mechanic. Thank you to the Nerdporeal Life Orb. And scroll up. Thank you to the Padawannabe. Thank you to Low Spec Linux Laptop. Thank you very much. Go on. Of course, even though I've already thanked you, Chaos, I'm going to thank you again, DDOD.
Yo.
I also want to thank Captain Trek. Thank you, brother. I also want to thank Bone. First time I've seen him on my channel, but I have seen him on several other channels, and I appreciate Bone stopping by. I also want to thank subscriber number 100, Black Dragon. And I also want to thank the richest kaiju I know, Godzilla. And let's see. Of course, Patriot. Thank you very much, brother. And of course, the mods of all mods, Punk Waddle. He is the mod king, while Brandon the anime guy is the mod emperor.
Slick. Very slick.
And let's see, am I missing anyone else? Let's see, keep scrolling up. Almost missed GMC, Games, Movies, and Comics R Us. Thank you, brother. And that's it for everyone who showed up during the live stream. But if you showed up after the live stream, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Do want to let you know that tomorrow night I will be continuing my Final Fantasy VII Remake gameplay. So please tune in for that around 7:30 Eastern tomorrow night. And then Friday night, depending on what time I get home from actually seeing the movie, I will be doing a review of The Batman, or as I've been calling him, Sparkles. Bat
Sparkles, man.
Yeah. And then Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern, I will have a collector's stream where we talk about the different items we have in our collection, whether it's Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, sports, video games, you name it. We will be talking about and even showing our collections. And then Sunday, over on the Nerdporial Lifeforms channel, we will be having our discussion of our favorite Klingon episodes. Top 5 Klingon episodes and some honorable mentions. So please tune in for that. Hey, Patriot, what the heck, dude? I was going to tell you to promote your channel, dude.
Oh, Lord.
Anyways, you have anything coming up, Chaos?
I might drop a freaking War Thunder stream a little bit later on tonight. And I also, well, I'm deciding whether or not I'm going to do some cave raiding in Ark or spreading of some freedom. You know, one of the two. Spread some freedom of War Thunder or get my face eaten off by dinosaurs. Those are the options. Cast your votes.
Either option sounds interesting. I mean, okay, maybe I would choose tanks only because, reasons.
Oh yeah. You know what? We should probably work on leveling you up so that by the time the Patriots ready to commence with his ejection of freedom, we'll be a higher level. Yeah, we'll do that tonight. We'll do some old school low tier grinding. We gotta get your army up to snuff, Scruffy.
Yeah, I know. Padlock knows. Well, since Patriot's not here, I'm gonna go ahead and put his link in the chat anyway.
Yeah, guys, if you guys are interested, I'm thinking about starting it in about 45 minutes.
All right.
We'll go
Sounds good.
Do the food thing, and then prepare myself for all kinds of battle-hardened battle.
Sounds good. So, thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for hitting that like button. And if you like what you saw here tonight, well, there's always more Pop Talk to come. Not sure if I'm going to do a recorded version for Sunday or if I'm going to go live again. I'll know as the weekend gets closer. I haven't made up my mind yet, but I will see you all soon. Have a great night. And as
quick question, are we doing Frontiers this Sunday or no? Or Friday, I mean. I forgot.
I'm gonna say no because I'd already planned to go see the Batman, and I don't know what time I'm gonna get home after the movie.
Okay, good. Just wanted to know whether or not you set aside the allotted time.
Not a problem. I'm sure you have things that you want to do too. So.
Oh no, man! I could boldly go. I could shoot things in the face or get my face eaten off.
Well, I mean, we could try to find some time this weekend to do it before the
Oh, yeah.
streams, and
We shall see. Keep me informed, brother. I look forward to doing battle.
indeed. So, as I leave you, I want to say, glory to you and your house, and kapla.
And to you as
Have
well.
a good night, everyone.
Peace.
Also, I want to thank Keely Chow for stopping by as well. Thank you very much, Keely. Have a good night, everyone.